To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
Truth Nation, stand up and tap in. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by FidelityWealthManagement.com. Comedian Drewski has built a massive following for himself, and it all started by making funny videos and sharing them on social media. Despite making it big as a grassroots self-made social media star, Drewski doesn't have any plans to strike a big deal with a traditional media company. In a conversation with Bloomberg, he talked about how another celebrity comedian with a more conventional rise is influencing his decision to stay independent.
I looked up to, the Adam Sandler story of how he built up Happy Madison and just all his movies. And so I wanted to do the same for mine.
Drewski says he does have big name partnerships, but makes sure he maintains creative control. And he reinvests earnings from these deals back into his own brand.
If Nike gives me $1 million check, I don't go and put that in my pocket and try to go get a bunch of cool stuff. I'll go and try to spend that money on one of the episodes from my TV show.
I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Getting more as a MyLowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your Pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/1/25 through 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
He steps to the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, all the airwaves king. Shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, all the airwaves kin. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping, like a heartbeat's call. He's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Well, hello. Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, December 17th, 2025. There's a court case going on, but I'm not following it because I don't care about it. But it's all over local news. Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge Hannah Dugan is on trial. It is a federal criminal case because she allegedly helped an undocumented individual who was appearing in her courtroom for some local charges. Well, she helped an undocumented individual evade federal immigration officials, and she is on trial for that. And there's some national attention that the Hannah Dugan case is garnering because she, as a judge, while in her robe, helped an illegal person that was being sought after by immigration authorities. She helped him escape. The left is rallying behind her because for them, if a judge who has to determine the constitutionality of our laws is on their side and actually helped someone escape that was about to be detained by federal authorities, that'll be like this huge rallying cry for the left. I'm not covering it because what she did was illegal. And even though she probably had a major moral, hang up with those immigration authorities trying to catch people in the courthouse where people are very vulnerable, you got to think about this. People are trying to abide by the law by going to court. And Hannah Dugan probably said, well, this guy, he's trying to follow the rules because he was charged with something locally. He appeared in court. But also those same people that are going to court because they're following the rules and the laws are also easy prey for immigration officials because they'll hang out at the courthouse and catch people that are illegal. Judges are incredibly restricted in what they can and cannot do. Like a judge running for re-election can't even ask for money for their campaigns because it's unethical. Judges can't even be partisan. Judges can't promote one political candidate versus another because they have to be so incredibly impartial, because that is what we put judges on the bench for. She did something that absolutely violated federal law, even though it probably was morally wrong in her eyes. And quite honestly, it is morally wrong. But as a judge, you can't do that. So I am not going to cover a case or a trial in which a circuit court judge who, and I understand judges to be incredibly limited in even their commentary on the issues of the day because they have to be so incredibly impartial. In fact, part of the oath that they take is to be impartial on a whole bunch of different measures and discussions and talking points because of their very specific status that they hold in our community. So I think that she broke the law. And I'm not going to cover a case or give any additional airtime to a case in which the judge broke the law. As unfortunate as it is that she is on a criminal trial, she took a risk. And she got caught. Now she's on trial. She'll probably be disbarred. She'll probably lose her judgeship. There'll probably be a special election for the circuit court number that she represents. And, it is what it is. I think there's bigger fish to fry. So yesterday, I asked a bunch of rhetorical questions about poverty and are poor people deserving of less? Because they don't have a lot of money for whatever the reason is, are they then considered less than human? Do they deserve less dignity because they don't have any money? I'm not sure if we came up with an answer to that, but I was throwing out some of that rhetoric just to see what your responses are. And I'd imagine that we will say, no, everybody should be equal and everybody is the same. And if you don't have a whole bunch of money, we shouldn't look at you differently. We shouldn't judge you. So the bottom line is poor people, everybody deserves dignity. But if there is the existence of really poor people, that is a cohort of people that we can screw over, because also on yesterday's program, I said the opposite of poverty is not wealth. The opposite of poverty is justice. So if there is a cohort of people, for whatever the reason, you can screw them over, and you don't really have to worry about much pushback because, well, they're poor. They don't really have a lot of credibility. They can't use the system to fight back against all of the injustices that they may face because all too often people that don't have a lot of money have to spend a lot of their time and a lot of their energy just taking care of basic necessities, and they're always in survival mode, so they're incredibly vulnerable, you see. I think that as unfortunate as that is, it is a reality because in an American system where capitalism is the rule of the day, you got to have somebody you can screw over. You have to have someone who is not connected to any kind of major institutional or structural power. We have to have people that make low wages. And as horrible as that may sound, in order for you to make your $100,000, $150,000, and I've met some of you are rich. But in order for you all to be rich and live your very comfortable lifestyles, someone has to make a lower wage. There has to be this huge spread between a company's profitability and the money that goes out the door when it comes to wages and benefits. So if we can pay people less at the very, very bottom and really screw them over financially, then we can have people at the top to make a whole bunch of money. Quite honestly, it is why for, 2-3 generations, maybe more than that, we loved immigrants. Because if you didn't know America, you didn't know the language, you didn't know the culture, we could screw you over. In fact, we could just pay you under the table and pay you a very, very low wage. If you weren't legal, if you weren't documented, and you were more worried about being caught, detained, and deported, you're not going to complain about your wages being $3 an hour. You're going to take it. You're also not going to receive the same protections on the job, which I think everyone should be afforded. Two things everybody should be afforded. Everyone should be afforded health care and protections on the job. Pretty much everything outside of that we can have discussions on. But if you are here in this country and you're sick, you need to get treated. Period, point blank, and we have the money to pay for it, so it's not about money. If you think we don't have the money to pay for it, I assure you the people that get tax breaks that they don't ask for, that's the money. We are giving money to rich people that they don't need, don't want, didn't even ask for. That extra money that rich people didn't even ask for can pay for all of the things that y'all think we are too broke to afford. But here's what's crazy. So even if we said, okay, rich people, you're going to pay a little bit more in taxes. In fact, you won't even feel it. It won't even make a dent in your wealth. We seem to think that if we do that, right, we free up some money, or if we cut out programs, because that's the whole thing that Doge wanted to do. Some of us believe that we're going to get some of that money back. No, the hell you're not. That money's going to go to the Pentagon. That money's going to go to infrastructure. That money's going to go invest in God knows what, but we're not going to get the money back. And I think that is a misconception that we need to have cleared up, especially when people think about federal income taxes that we pay. People hear tax cut, especially working class people, they hear tax cut and they think, ooh, I'm going to get a whole bunch of money back. The most money you're going to get back is whatever your tax bracket is and whatever your tax return is going to be. And even if there is a quote unquote middle class tax cut, assuming that some of you are middle class, it's negligible the amount you're going to get back. We may cut billions of dollars from the federal budget, and you might find out that your taxes are actually going up. So we have to have people that don't make a lot of money. And if someone is from another country and they're just happy to be here, can you believe that there are some people that even though they're getting treated poorly, they're happy to be in America and they're happy to make less than minimum wage, which is good for us in the overall economy because the smaller amount of money that we pay in labor, the more money that can go to management and upper management and the C-suite executives, et cetera, et cetera. But to focus on the dignity or the lack thereof or the lack of respect that poor people get. There's a guy named Joe Barata. He owns many properties in the city of Milwaukee. And I don't know if you guys have witnessed or seen if these are coming up in your algorithms, but there are a number of tenants, obviously, who are very upset with, let's just say, the level of service that they are getting from some of these Barata property units. And they have created a series of AI videos, which I think are brilliant. and are the exact intended use for artificial intelligence. And these videos are set to hip-hop music, and you have a bunch of people in the videos. Of course, it's all AI generated, and then you see different scenes or like reproductions of the city of Milwaukee and reproductions of Barada properties. And in these AI generated hip-hop videos, they are just going after Joe Barada, just tearing him limb from limb from limb. So the question that we have on the YouTube, and I really want to have this conversation today, who's the bigger problem? Because I've heard both sides. I've heard some of you call in saying, no, the tenants are horrible. The tenants are bad people. The tenants are destroying these units. No, it's the tenants. And being a landlord it's a lot of risk. And you're providing a service for people. You're providing somewhere safe for them to live. And the tenants are the ones that are irresponsible and they're terrible. Or is it the landlord where 6% of the units have no heat, there's rat and mice infestations, and there's roach infestations, and the landlords and the property managers of Barada properties are being made aware of it, and they're doing nothing. And so I'm asking you, do the people, because rich people don't rent from Barada. It's poor people, poor black people. Should they just have to live in mice and rat infested, broken toilets, plumbing doesn't work, clogged sinks when they call the apartment manager? Do they even deserve to live in a decent unit? Because, they're poor. Do they deserve basic dignity in their living conditions? And let's just say, humor me for a second, please. Let's just say it's not the tenant's fault. Let's just say that there are so many units that are under management owned by Joe Barada and his subsidiaries that it's literally impossible. They don't have enough people. They don't have enough staff. They don't have enough maintenance to deal with the problems as they arise. Yet, people have to pay their rent every single month on time, right? But the maintenance can go on unresolved for however long. So we're going to talk about that, and we have a question on the YouTube. Go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device. I just want to know something. Who's the bigger problem? Without any details, tenants or landlords? That's the choices on the YouTube poll. Who do you believe are the bigger problems? Is it these tenants that just destroy property and they have no regard for that apartment they're renting because technically they don't own it, and they don't care if they punch holes in the drywall, and they're the ones that are clogging the sinks with all of their long tenant hair? They're the ones responsible. Or is it the landlord? Is it the slumlord that knows that his or her units are in disrepair, and because they are ripping people off and these are poor people and poor people have no justice, is it okay to allow poor people that don't have a lot of income, because if you're renting from Barada, you ain't rich, is it okay to give those poor people substandard living conditions? We'd like to hear from you on the YouTube poll. Who is the bigger problem, tenants or landlords? We're going to talk about that and other things on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Title of the show today is Mind the Gap. Those of you that have taken the tube over in London know that phrase very, very well. But there's a different gap that I want us to mind here in the state of Wisconsin and, quite honestly, nationwide. It is the achievement gap. And I chased down as much information and fact and statistics and data as I possibly could, and I followed the trajectory of an achievement gap of a child. So from kindergarten and fourth grade assessments and eighth grade assessments, and how their absenteeism in middle school and in high school, and if these achievement gaps persist until this child's expected graduation rate, how does that achievement gap follow those children into adulthood, and how does that impact and inform the trajectories of those people's lives? So where the achievement gap, especially between black children and white children, where we can first identify it, if we follow it and track it, what does that end up being as far as life chances for the individual who has the poor academic performance? We're going to talk about that too. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. On Friday night, the Milwaukee Panthers take on the South Dakota State Jackrabbits at the Fiserv Forum.
Jump pass to the corner right. Elam, 10 on the shot clock. Back out for Zech. Logo 3 for Zech. It's pure. It's pure. It's a 7-point lead. 65-58. I didn't think he was going to shoot that thing. I'm glad he did.
Scott Warris has the coverage Friday starting at 3:30 on 101.7 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 4 p.m.
Talk to these people in terms of how do I register for this program despite my reservations and my previous experiences of rejection?
Yes, I tell anybody and everybody that you can buy a house. It may take somebody longer than the other person depending on what your circumstances is with your credit and income and affordability, but you can purchase a house. The first step would be is to register for our program. You can come to our office, 7830 West Burleigh Street, or you can give us a call at 414-461-6330, or just go onto our website, hri-wi.org. Register for the first-time home buyer education workshop. That's going to be your first step to home ownership. During that class, you're going to learn everything that you need to know from A to Z, how to get approved for a house, how to look for a house and put an accepted offer, and how to close on a home.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The most egregious complaints against Barada Properties in Milwaukee, owned by Yusef Joe Barada, and managing nearly 9,000 rental units. I think it's closer to 10,000, actually. Primarily in low-income areas, stem from a 2021 Wisconsin Department of Justice lawsuit. Tenant reports and media investigations. These allegations led to a $1.7 million settlement in 2024, though the company denied any wrongdoing, charging unlawful late rent fees of $100 per month and requiring tenants to pay attorney's fees and court costs in eviction proceedings, even when not legally permitted. Barada Properties has imposed unfair billing practices, including shifting pest extermination costs to tenants. And so I'm having this conversation today because there's a series of AI-generated videos made by content creators here locally that are tired of what they believe is maltreatment by Barada Properties and management, etc. That the conditions are, let's just say, unacceptable, and people are very, very fed up. There's even allegations of like loopholes in the leases. Some of the leases are bogus, and they are designed to take advantage of the fact that, come on, nobody reads their lease, and those leases are written by lawyers. Like, we can't barely even understand when you put a referendum on the ballot, let alone the legal mumbo jumbo and the jargon of a real estate contract that is a lease. Most people think, okay, well, I pay X amount of dollars per month. I'm just going to sign my name right here. People have no idea most of the time what they are signing. In fact, I would encourage somebody to get a lawyer to read your lease and interpret it for you before you sign it. But here's the thing. Poor people don't have money just to have lawyers at their disposal. Now, I'm not completely absolving tenants from their roles and their responsibilities. Because if you have, let's say your heat doesn't work in your apartment, and it was cold this week, y'all. It was below zero now. Something like 6% of the units have no heat. People die when it's this cold. This is Wisconsin. This ain't Phoenix, Arizona. If your heat goes out in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's 55 degrees in the wintertime, you ain't gonna die. Just put on an extra pair of socks. But this is Wisconsin. If it gets that cold, when it gets as cold as it can get here, people will literally lose their lives. Now, here's the thing. Now, you called about your heat not being on. And maybe you called about your heat not being on like last May, thinking, okay, it's the summer's coming up. I'm not going to need the heat. Let me let management know that my heat ain't working in May or in April. Then the summer comes, and, of course, you don't need the heat. But then the fall rolls back around. They still haven't fixed your heat. Now you're up against a winter, and your heat has not been fixed. Now, I can imagine that tenant's like, screw this place. Yeah, I'm going to put a hole in the drywall. yeah, okay, might break this door off the hinges because I complained about not having any heat last season. Like, just imagine for a moment how frustrating that would be and how frustrated you would be. Now, I know it, tenants are not supposed to destroy the property, but if you already know you ain't getting your security deposit back. So, yes, we can put some of the blame on the tenants, but I'm going to tell you what, if I am paying my rent every single month because I fear these late fees, and then I'm asking for basic maintenance to be done on an apartment in which in some cases these people are paying $1,100, $1,200, $1,300 a month, because that's the other thing. If you don't have the down payment and the credit to buy a house, you can get ripped off renting because you have no other choice. Where else are you going to live? If you can't live with family, you certainly don't want to be on the streets. And if you find an apartment for $1,300, $1,400, $1,500, you have to take. And here's the other thing. They raise the rent on people every single year. It's not fair because it's not like the wages of the people who are renting are going up every single year. In fact, wages have either stayed flat or have gone down in the last decade or two. So before we blame the tenants now, imagine how frustrated you would be. I know I would. I'd be like, okay, you don't want to fix my heat? Well, I think I'm going to steal some of these fixtures, then I think I'm going to take this whole sink with me. Got a question on the YouTube. Who do you think is a bigger problem? The tenants or the landlords? Disruptive and hazardous renovations, conducting renovations with, quote, little to no regard. These are all things that the Barada properties have been accused of, and they were found liable for something because they had a settlement of $1.7 million that was sought by the Wisconsin Department of Justice because a number of tenants had brought a suit. Conducting renovations with little to no regard for tenants, including dangerous or unnecessary work that disrupted living conditions, sometimes described as renovictions to force tenants out of their properties. Poor property maintenance and health hazards, widespread failures to address critical issues such as no heat during winter, accounting for a disproportionate share of citywide complaints, despite owning only 5 to 6% of rentals. Infestations, and I know y'all have a lot to say about this because most people will say, it's the tenants that bring the cockroaches in. The tenants had the roaches in the furniture and the roaches, they brought them in. You know what? Maybe that's the case. But when that tenant moves out and that apartment, that maybe the tenants did bring the roaches, a previous tenant did, isn't it the responsibility of the property owner and the landlord, if you're going to be charging $1,100, $1,200, $1,300 a month, to make sure that there's no bug infestations when you make somebody else sign a lease for that apartment? Or you tell people, like, hey, we're going to show you apartment 3B. There's roaches in it. Do you still want apartment 3B? At least allow people to decline. Because here's what's crazy. Some people will say, yeah, we'll take it. Hell no. I know that's right, Rick. They say when you got them roaches, you got to leave all your stuff. You can't even take your clothes. You can't take your furniture.
That's why I don't invite everybody to my house, because some people got roaches, some people got bed bugs, and it's just like, you know what? This is my peace, my sanctuary. Like, can't invite everybody to your house.
No, you can't. But here's the other thing. You also can't go to everybody's house. That's the other thing, right? Isn't there some responsibility on the landlord? Now, here's the thing. I'm trying to be fair now. I haven't rented for a very, very long time, and when I did rent, it was a nice apartment, so I didn't really have a lot of complaints. If there was a maintenance item, it might take them a few days. I don't think I ever waited more than a week, but I also haven't rented in 24 years, give or take. And I did not rent from Barada. I don't even know if Barada was as prominent then as he is right now. He owns a lot of units. The article I have says 9,000, but I think it's closer to 10,000 units that he owns. But his wealth is so opulent. And I'm not blaming him. I'm not making him the bad guy. I do know that there is a fact that he was sued by the State Department of Justice, and there's a settlement of $1.7 million. And ladies and gentlemen, for one landlord, one property owner to be forced to pay almost $2 million, that means there's wrongdoing there. Like, that's a lot of money. Usually these landlords are fined $500, $1,000 here, $72 over there. $1.7 million means something is seriously, seriously wrong. There's an airport on Layton Avenue. It's the little private airport called Signature. If you're on Layton Avenue, you drive right past it. Well, if you look off in the distance, if you ever walk into the Signature Airport, or if you're ever on the tarmac, in the distance you will see like a 747 Boeing, the big one, the biggin, like the Air Force One presidential size commercial passenger jet, a big plane, okay? That's his private jet. Now, hold on now. I'm not taking nothing away from that man, because guess what? If I hit the Powerball tonight, first thing I'm doing is buying me a plane. Now, I'm still going to come to work if I hit the Powerball tonight, but you will notice some things will be different, including me flying my private jet from my house to work every day. I'm going to land that hoe on the roof. But other than that, everything will pretty much be the same. I thought that a G550 private jet is the pinnacle of luxury. This dude has a commercial airliner that he uses as a private jet. You know, commercial airliners can hold like 150 people, and that is what he uses as a private jet. So if you have the kind of money, y'all, that's $190 million. That's a $200 million plane. If you have the wealth to purchase a $200 million plane, and quite honestly, with the customization, because I ain't seeing the inside of it. It might be all decked out in leather and gold and a fancy wood trim and all that other stuff. It could be more. It could be a $250 million plane. If you have that kind of opulence, but your tenants are complaining about basic living conditions not being met, then you know what I mean? Like, we got to stick up for folks, because they can't always stick up for themselves. But I guess who's to blame? Is it the tenant to blame, or is it the landlord? Illegal eviction practices and property confiscation. Confiscating tenants' personal property. This one I have heard about. Like, someone told me about this personally. Like, they were evicted, and there was a scheduled time for them to come back and get their stuff. All of their stuff had been liquidated. They went back into the apartment to move out, basically, to get the rest of their things, and all of their stuff was taken to the trash heap, and they were never reimbursed for it. The problem with that, there's a lot of problems with that, but that was all they had. That was their kids' beds. That was their kids' furniture. That was all they had, and furniture is expensive now, and they didn't have the money to replace the furniture that was taken when they were evicted. You can't do that. You can't take people's personal property, especially if it's all that they have. So take a break, come back, continue the conversation. But who is to blame? Is it the tenants? Because some tenants are bad news now. One of the reasons why Sherwin never became a landlord, because I considered it. A bunch of my friends, in fact, most of my friends, their side hustle is they own some properties. They got a duplex, or they bought a duplex, and they rented one half out. They might have rented one half out to their mama, to their family, and then they were able to pay off that duplex. And with the equity they got in that duplex, they went and bought another, and they bought another, and they bought another. And so some of them own a pretty impressive portfolio of properties. But you get to a point where it's really super hard to manage, and you got to worry about not just your tenants, but who your tenants might invite over to those apartments. And most of the time, it is a woman who has an apartment. She lives there with her kids, but like her boyfriend or her raggedy ass sister comes over and they throw garbage all over the place. You know what I mean? So it's not just the person who is on the lease. You have to worry about who that person may invite over. They might have somebody come over that's selling dope out of the apartment. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of headache in being a tenant, or being a landlord. But that is part of the risk in the money you make in collecting people's rent. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be back shortly.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The Humane Animal Welfare Society, HAWS, believes in keeping pets healthy and families together. No one should have to choose between rent and veterinary care. The Wellness Clinic at HAWS Animal Shelter in Waukesha offers important basics of dog and cat care to our community. Pet owners can schedule general exams, sick visits, receive vaccinations, even get preventatives and nail trims. Appointments are available weekdays and can be scheduled by calling 262-542-8852. Contact HAWS of Waukesha today for your pet's care.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 5 and 20%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. Visit amfam.com to learn more. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 101.7 The Truth.
What was the life change? You know, we all know it happened and we know things happen and you have bad kidneys, but what was the life change afterwards?
A couple things. Before they even allow you to get on the list, they make you go through a battery of tests. And, you know, a lot of people don't qualify because they're overweight or they have high blood pressure or high cholesterol. So all those things are requirements before you can even get approved to be on the list. So I had...
Wait, you got to be approved to be on the list?
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's interesting. There's a professional athlete or former professional athlete I know right now that has kidney disease and he's on dialysis and he wants to get on the list and he's not accepting all the things you have to do, you know, to get on the list. But yeah, so for me, I spent 30 years in the automobile industry. You know, that's 12, 14-hour days, eating whatever somebody brings you to eat, whatever you run out and grab, McDonald's, whatever. It was never salads and, you know.
Yeah, but that was a choice, right?
It was a choice. Yeah. But I had to change all of that to even qualify to be on the list. I had to get down to the weight I had to be at. I had to get my phosphorus under control, my potassium under control.
Wait a minute, even though somebody said they would give you a kidney,
absolutely,
you had to still make yourself eligible?
Absolutely.
Nah, that's okay.
When I mentioned the athlete, his relative actually died, and they wanted to take his organs, and they couldn't because he wasn't qualified. He wasn't on the list. Wow. Yeah, you have to be.
So there are over 100,000 people on that waiting list. So they are very serious.
And how many donors do we have?
And that's the problem. We don't have nearly enough donors.
Wow.
And that's why it's such a critical need. But they are serious about who they're giving that gift of life to, because there are so many people who are literally dying waiting for it.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Unresponsive management, difficulty contacting management for repairs or complaints with calls and emails often ignored, exacerbating unresolved issues. And because a disproportionate number of these people, they don't have a lot of money, especially to pursue legal remedies to their unsafe living conditions. Because a lot of them are poor, do they just deserve it? That's a legitimate question. If for whatever reason, if you don't have a lot of money and you don't have enough money to protect yourself and to defend yourself, or if you don't have enough money to move to a place where all of the rental units are average or above, because there's some communities where the local government will crack down on a landlord. After a tenant makes a complaint, the landlord doesn't remedy it in a reasonable amount of time. Those people can go to their village board or their village president or their alderperson, and then the government, that local unit of government, will then put the hammer down on that landlord. And if you go to wealthier communities that do have rental units, they don't have these kinds of problems. So for whatever reason, if somebody can't afford to move to one of those places where every rental unit is safe and it's clean and things get repaired, do we just have to let people live in squalor? It's a legitimate question because if our collective blame poor people for being poor and then we all agree that they deserve subpar conditions, then they're going to hate us and they're going to become much more violent and much more dangerous. And quite honestly, I don't blame them. If they are in their current economic situation through no fault of their own and they are forced to live in conditions that we wouldn't wish on our worst enemies, and then they get angry at this society, I can see why they don't want to vote, because they could vote in every single election and still have unresolved maintenance issues and the heat in their apartment won't work. So they're thinking to themselves, what the hell am I voting for? Like, nothing in my immediate universe is improving. In fact, things may be getting worse, but you got old big head ass Sherwin telling me to vote in every election. I get it now. I used to get mad at the non-voter like some of you all get mad at the tenant. I understand why you don't want to vote. Now, I vote for my own different and specific reasons, just like everybody else does. But if someone says, you know what, Sherwin, screw you, because here are all the things that are wrong in my life, and here are the things that the government is responsible for that they're not helping me with, I'm not participating in none of this political jargon that you be talking about. I'm like, cool, I'll shake their hand and buy them a Starbucks. Now, I do think that the power that we have both economically and politically as black people, when we harness it and we laser focus it, we can get some of the change that has long evaded us. But that's a very, very tough conversation to have because individual people do not see and will not see an immediate improvement in their life. And that's what they want. They want whatever is wrong today on Wednesday, they want it to be solved by Thursday, because for most people, that is how we tackle our problems. Now, here's the other thing. You win the Powerball, then you ain't going to have to work. The only problem that you may have if you win the Powerball, because you know I gave you the numbers yesterday, only problem you're going to have if you win the Powerball is, what am I going to do with all of this money? And probably all the extra sex you're going to get. Because if you're really rich, right, you're going to get laid more. Hold on now. I'm not saying that you need to take everybody up on their offers. But ass will be just thrown your way, even on accident. People won't even mean to throw you the ass, but it'll just find its way into your lap. Failure to maintain safe, habitable living conditions. Many reviewers describe infestations of roaches, rats, mice, and bed bugs in apartments and hallways, often without effective pest control responses from management. Reports of water leaks, dripping ceilings, and flooded hallways have surfaced, with tenants saying management didn't respond promptly. Cold snaps. Tenants have experienced lack of heat for days, leaving units dangerously cold, and have claimed maintenance didn't respond to requests. So, you guys, listen. I'm supposed to say this, but I know you're going to do it anyway. You can't use your burners on your stove for heat. You can't do that. You're not supposed to turn on the oven to heat your house. But how do I tell somebody whose actual furnace heat in their unit doesn't work not to use the stove? Because that's a carbon monoxide risk, and it's a hell of a fire risk too. So I'm supposed to say, with this broadcast platform that is public, you're not supposed to use your oven and the burners on your stove to heat your apartment. I'm supposed to say that, but I know that some of you would rather do that and take the risk of the carbon monoxide poison and the fire risk than to sit there and be cold. But that's something else that needs to be considered. Like, somebody might start a fire in their apartment because it's too cold. If the heat is not working, because I don't like being cold now. The snow I can deal with. I can deal with the snow because just drive a little slower, leave a little earlier. But I don't like that cold because it ain't nothing you can do when the hawk is out. Because that hawk, I don't care if you bundling up. Gloves, you got your scarf on, got your heavy coat. Do people still wear long johns I haven't worn long johns since I was in elementary school. Thermal underwears. You put all that stuff on. And some kind of way, I don't even know how, that hawk, it'll just get in, like it'll find a crevice. It'll find a weak spot in all of your bundling up. And I'll be bundled, Jack. You hear me? Bundled from head to toe. And that hawk, it'll just get in maybe at the top of your ass. You know what I mean, Ricky? When that hawk, it gets in that ass. And now you're freezing cold.
My heat hurt. My heat works.
I'm talking about when you're outside.
I heat my car, too.
Sometimes, Ricky, you got to walk to the car. Now, if you got to go to the store, I'm talking about the hawk when you walking outside, because you can't be inside all the time. I get into a warmed up vehicle as well, but it's the walk from my house to the vehicle now, especially here in this parking structure, because our parking structure is open. That hawk is getting that ass now. And I'm also, by saying that, empathizing with people who do not have heat, because then it's different if the hawk is outside and you walking outside in a hawk. It gets you. Caw-caw! Caw-caw! But what if the hawk is in your house?
It's like a dead-ass bird. Or a bird that's dying.
What a hawk sound like? That's what it sound like, ain't it?
Do it one more time.
Caw-caw! Caw-caw!
Sound like you dying.
That's not funny. It's one thing if you outside and you cold, but if that cold, because you can't even sleep, it's not enough blankets. So Barada needs to do better. But again, is it the fault of the tenants? Because if the tenants are majority poor people, do poor people not deserve standard, regular living conditions? We have a poll up on YouTube. I ain't checked the numbers yet. I'm scared as to what this may reveal about you all. But if you go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device, search 1017 The Truth, and you'll be able to participate in the poll once you subscribe. I asked a simple question. Who is more to blame? These terrible, awful, disrespectful tenants or neglectful landlords? The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune into the award-winning 1017 The Truth's Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Harder Canal Street Spotlight, this Wednesday at 3:57 p.m. between the Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. We'll be speaking with Marco Morrison, Executive Director at College Possible, a nonprofit organization that helps low-income and first-generation students with the college process and sets them up for success in college. Again, that is the Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Harder Canal Street Spotlight, this Wednesday with College Possible at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Ho, 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 my back.
Santa?
Ho, 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 Gina Della from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Yes. Next year, how about just asking for a Pella gift card? My elves are used to designing windows from other places where they're all pretty much the same. But Pella? Ho, 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 so many customizations and designs. My elves aren't qualified, so Santa has to put in some overtime. Ho,
Let me make a call. BRB.
Frighteningly fast pellet team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
Yeah, I know. Santa already lectured me. Ask for a Pella gift card.
What if you need new windows or doors, but you're on the naughty list?
Then this will definitely help. Right now, at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% interest for 24 months.
Ho, ho, ho! Visit the Pella site. And to all, a good night.
PellaWI.com.
Restrictions apply. It's 12/31/2025.
You make time for everyone else. Family, work, everything in between. Now it's time to take care of you. If you're 45 to 64 and don't have insurance or your plan doesn't cover screenings, you may qualify for free mammograms and Pap tests through the City of Milwaukee Health Department's Breast and Cervical Cancer Awareness Program. Call 414-286-2133 to see if you're eligible. Real self-care starts with your health, and early detection saves lives. Funded by Wisconsin Well Woman. Learn more at milwaukee.gov/wellwoman.
Every child deserves a school that sees their brilliance.
At Milwaukee College Prep, they believe in high expectations, strong character, and academic excellence starting as early as age of 3. MCP scholars continue to outperform their peers across Milwaukee. And the best part about it all, Milwaukee College Prep is tuition free. If you're looking for a school that partners with you, challenges your child, and prepares them for college and beyond, Milwaukee College Prep is the place. Visit MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com to learn more. That's MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Rick, that's what I sound like when I do it. Didn't I sound just like that? That's the hawk. Well, technically, it's a crow. But, you know, when it's real cold outside, we call it the hawk because it swoops down on you. And it's very cold. You know, we don't like the cold weather, even though we live in Wisconsin. I'm not sure if human beings ever should have settled above Memphis, but here we are. When you don't have heat in your apartment, I would consider that a dire emergency, especially with the most recent cold snap that we had. And that's a little bit warmer. It was a little bit warmer yesterday, a little bit warmer today, but it's going to be another cold snap coming our way this weekend. And so for individuals who, let's talk about the people that are in fact paying their rent on time, and for whatever reason they live in a unit that is not very well maintained, or if it's got an older furnace or older boiler, isn't a part of that contract, that you are going to get the basic services that should be included with the apartment that you were renting, keeping in mind the apartment you were renting is probably priced way too high. With interest rates being what they are if you want to get a home loan, a lot of people find it a little bit more cost effective to rent instead of paying better than 6+% for a 30-year mortgage. And these rents continue to go up, especially as these hedge funds and these Wall Street conglomerates, these huge firms, are purchasing all the real estate. And they're buying these properties for asking. You know, somebody might be asking $300,000, $400,000 for a house that's maybe only worth $199,000. But these hedge funds are coming in, buying those properties, and then charging people exorbitant amounts for rent. And I guess if that's what it is, then that's what it is. But shouldn't people get at least basic living conditions? And I think this goes back to, if someone is poor, do they deserve less? Do they deserve substandard conditions? Yesterday, I went through all of these different categories. If you are poor, do you deserve a lack of health care? If you are poor, do you deserve poor infrastructure? If you are poor, do you deserve to have lead leaching off of the pipes and getting into your water supply? If you are poor, should you not have access to fruits and vegetables and other fresh produce and grocery stores in your community simply because you were poor? Is it because of your bad judgment and your decision making that you were in the situation that you were in? Even if you were a child that was not asked to be born into poverty, and statistically where you are born and the circumstances you were born into is very determinant of your life. It's not a be-all, end-all. There are some people that can rise above their current circumstances, but it's in the single-digit percentages of people who were born into destitution that are able to rise up and climb up the different income ladders. Most people, the income bracket that they are in, that they are born in, is the one that they likely will stay in for the duration of their lives, which is terribly unfortunate because I think we've all been sold that bill of goods. If you just work really hard and you apply yourself, you can become successful. Maybe. There's a thing about success when you earn it, when you work for it, that successful people don't tell you. I would say 70% of it 30% is like attitude, work ethic, your education, your friends, right? The people that you are around. You ever want to know where you're going in life? This is the truest thing I've ever heard, ever. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Not your kids, but like other adults. The 5 people you spend the most time with. If you don't like where they are and where they're going, well, welcome to the party. That's where you're going. That's it. So 30% is how hard you work, the education you get, other ancillary things. 70% of success is luck. Unless you're born into it, that's different. But you can be born into success and still be an absolute miserable failure. Donald Trump, born into all the money he could ever ask for and is ruining people's lives. Come to find out that the Republicans failed to even have a vote on extending the Affordable Care Act tax credits. Some of you did sign up for health insurance through the Affordable Care Act, the Obamacare exchange, and you got a rate. And that rate may have been reasonable based upon your income. That is because the tax credit has not expired yet. Come January 1st, y'all are going to be so mad at this. Keep in mind, inflation is still too damn high. Tariffs are impacting everything. The cost of food is still very, very high. Some of us about to get our property tax bills. I know when I get my property tax bill, I'm going to be ready to fight the first person I see. And if you got health insurance through the exchange, through healthcare.gov, the rate that you signed up for, because when you sign up for it, you got to pay your first month or whatever. So that rate that you paid is probably going to double come January 1st, because when you signed up by December 15th, which was on Monday, we still had the tax credits in place for 2025. They expire on New Year's Eve at midnight. So come January 1, most people are going to see their health insurance premiums go up. Even if you have employer-sponsored health insurance, they are screwing us over so bad, y'all. Screwing us over. And this is your successful president. But successful people don't tell you it's luck. They was at the right place at the right time. At the last minute, they decided to go to that luncheon, or they decided to go to that networking event. Let's say that they weren't even going to go to it, but they decided to go last minute, and boom, that's when they met the person that gave them the chance, that gave them the job, that gave them the opportunity, that gave them the promotion. 70% of it is just luck, and you can't control your luck. Some of y'all, if it wasn't for bad luck, you wouldn't have none. For hour 2, I want to delve into when we first identify these academic disparities between children, these achievement gaps. And if you follow the achievement gap from when we first identify, sometimes it's in 3rd grade or in 4th grade, what does that turn into if that achievement gap is not addressed? And this also implicates our current public school system here, because if the achievement gaps are not addressed and we create a new class of poor people because academically people are not prepared, then there's a whole nother class of people that we can get screwed over, in which justice will evade them too. Because the opposite of poverty is justice. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Come in with straight truth.
If you acted up, if you were out here doing any kind of foolishness or just something that people know would make your family's name look bad, your neighbor from down the street, if they see the son or daughter, be like, what are you doing? They gonna call you out. They gonna let you know that they saw you, and then they gonna tell you, come here. Now you know I'm gonna tell your daddy.
That part.
There are a lot of times when people are new to an area, they don't know where to plug in. And anybody who plugs in to 101.7 The Truth and listen to you and Dame and Truth Nation would know that there is a significant public outcry when violence happens in our community. Don't worry about the outcry if you're not listening to the right people. So I would encourage her to tune in to 101.7 The Truth and listen to you guys, Denise Thomas, Dr. Ken Harris, Tori Lowe, and definitely Sherwin Hughes every day.
Watch all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows by subscribing to 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Breaking down the issues that shape our city and our future.
A TUC. It's called the Senate Civil Suits for Unauthorized Data Seizures. In the continuing resolution that had to be voted on in order to open the government, authorizes U.S. senators to file civil lawsuits against the U.S. government, including the Department of Justice, for up to $500,000 in damages per violation if federal law enforcement seizes or subpoenas their phone or other data without prior notification. Hold on, wait a minute. If you have been accused of a crime and there's evidence and probable cause, and the federal government or any investigating agency gets a warrant from a judge to seize your cell phone records, there's nothing you can do about that.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 to noon. Catch it live on YouTube or tune in to 1017 The Truth.
Being a caregiver for a family member can be very rewarding. It can be very challenging, too. Besides taking a physical and emotional toll, it can also take a real financial toll, especially if you're paying for home safety upgrades, covering medical expenses, cutting back on hours at your job, or having to leave your job altogether. In some states and in certain situations, you may be eligible to get paid for the care you provide, but finding reliable information about caregiver compensation can be overwhelming and very time-consuming. The AARP Foundation Paid for Care Hub can help. It's a free online tool developed with support from United Healthcare, where you can search compensation programs, explore your options, and get answers to frequently asked questions. Find out today if it's possible to be compensated for the time, effort, and care you're providing. Visit paidforcare.aarpfoundation.org to learn more.
Milwaukee's Black Talk lives here. You are listening to 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I want to talk about these gaps that I think we're too casual in how we discuss them, because it's like the same thing over and over and over again. It's very frustrating for me, because if it was any other group of people, any other group of children that was facing a consistent and persistent gap in something, we would get on it, we would fix it. Or there would be some attempt, there'd be some political attempt, some social attempt, some community attempt to fix it. Yet we continue to complain about these gaps between black children and white children. And can we just say for a moment, black children need education probably more than anybody else does, because they are at a higher risk for becoming vulnerable in a nation that still does not see us as equal. So black children need to have the best education possible to give them the best chance, because y'all are afraid of them. A black person, a black man, a black woman without an education that does not have a lot of employment options and opportunities potentially can become dangerous, because there's a whole criminal justice system that is waiting for them. Here's what's crazy. We dealt with criminal behavior in African Americans by building and building and building and building prisons and having tougher and tougher and tougher laws, and it did not eradicate the problem. In fact, it further exacerbated the destroyed black family. Why didn't we put the same amount of effort into providing quality education for black people so you never had to build a damn prison? If you look at some of the countries, don't even take my word for it. Look at other countries where their children are doing well in school and they prioritize and spend a disproportionate amount of money educating kids. They don't even have violent crimes there. The worst thing you might see in Germany is a German person getting loud in a coffee shop. Now, granted, when a German person is mad and they're speaking German very loudly, it sounds very, very scary. And all they're saying is, my coffee is not to my liking. But doesn't that sound scary? That was not real German, by the way. Let's talk to Brandon. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you, Brandon?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, Mr. Hughes?
I'm doing all right. What's on your mind?
Well, I was originally going to answer your question about the tenants and landlords, but I certainly want to stay on topic.
No, you can answer that question. That's an ongoing question.
Well, I would like to say that the majority of the time it is the tenant. Tenants have unreasonable expectations of landlords, expectations that they don't have for, very large and wealthy institutions. To give you an example, all of those cars got damaged during the flood at the casino, and individuals just kind of sat on their hands and, let the casino and insurance handle that. Now, if that was, say, a Barada property or a landlord, they would have been on Fox 6 slandering them. So often, tenants are expecting you to keep vagrants out of the property when you've got self-locking doors. And the reality is anybody with the kind of time a homeless person has is going to be able to get in anywhere that they deem desirable. I mean, they struggle with this at secure facilities. So, of course, at an apartment building in the inner city, that's going to be a challenge. The other thing,
so
you made a comment about
the tenants when a homeless person gets into...
No, sir. No, sir. But it is partly their responsibility to fight against that and lean against that. The landlord is not living at the property. Majority
Brandon, I just want to make sure. Hold on, Brandon. Because if I'm unclear on something, someone who's listening may also be unclear. I just want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. So if I am on the third floor in my apartment, minding my own business, and somebody finds a way into my building that I had nothing to do with, me as a tenant minding my business in my 2-bedroom on the third floor has got to bear responsibility for somebody getting in my building?
No, sir. I'm saying that it's partly the tenant's responsibility to alert the authorities.
Okay.
In many of these situations, the tenants will just reach out to the landlord like, they keep breaking into the building, when the reality is you need to be reaching out to MPD. And a lot of our community doesn't like doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, but MPD can't fix the security. You got to get buzzed into an apartment. Well, sometimes those buzzers don't work and anybody can just open the door. Even if you call MPD
somebody can wait outside the door and hold the door after you go in. You just described that at your secure facility, and they've got all the working bells and whistles. So, of course, if they're able to get into the third ward food hall, of course, they're going to be able to get into an 18-unit building somewhere.
Point taken. All right, fair enough. Okay.
Can I make one more point about the items being tossed?
Oh, yeah.
Majority of folks facing an eviction, they've had at least 60 to 90 days heads up of what was occurring. Individuals to get the 5-day notice, so they got 5 days, then they get a court date that's usually about 30 to 40 days out. At that court date, they usually contest it, and they get another court date that's 30 to 40 days out. And then they usually get a stayed eviction, so they get 7 days after a judge says, hey, you're evicted, before the landlord can go down to the sheriff's office and request the sheriff remove them from the property. And at that point, it's usually 10 more days. And this whole time, this tenant is aware that they need to move. Now, when the sheriff gets there, they've got about 15 minutes to grab all of their items and leave. And after that, what's left behind typically is looked at as abandoned. So nobody's confiscating these individuals' things, but they don't have the time to wait for someone to come back and gather things when they had a considerable amount of time to remove them, when time is the only thing you have as a landlord. You have to rent out the space.
The tenants, they have 15 minutes to move out of an apartment before
when the sheriff is at your door.
Okay.
The sheriff is at the door. At that point, you've had about 70 days heads up that you were being evicted.
Well, you described a lot of court proceedings, and when those court proceedings are still ongoing, technically that person is not evicted. You still can stay in that property until the court process.
The sheriff will never knock on your door unless the sheriff will never be knocking on your door unless that process has.
No, but you made it seem like they have 70 days to get all their stuff out. That is where that individual is living, and they're not going to sign another lease while they're going to court for the eviction proceedings, because a lot of times the courts can find that it's not legal or legitimate to evict that person. So why would they move their stuff out when they still have 70 days worth of court action to exhaust? I'm just trying to find out where all this makes sense. But it sounds like you are blaming the tenants, that landlords bear little to no responsibility. Brandon, do you think that there is any situation where the landlord bears responsibility? What if appliances aren't working? What if the heat isn't working? What if there's plumbing issues? Do the landlords bear any responsibility to remedy or to fix any of those maintenance items?
Absolutely. But now, if your stove is not working because you've been using it to heat your house, that's on you. I didn't damage the stove. You did.
But isn't the bigger problem the fact that the heat is not working? Because this is Wisconsin now. And
No, the bigger problem is tenants want the heat higher than 67 degrees, which is by law where I'm supposed to keep it. But if you want your unit at 75, that's on you. And tenants don't want to go buy a space heater, a legitimate one. They would rather use the gas stove.
Damn.
And this is commonplace. Like, there's a lot of these kinds of issues. And this is why your friends, while making money, also are making gray hairs. Because being a landlord is not easy.
Oh, yeah, it's not worth it either. Are you a landlord, Brandon? Full disclosure, do you own some property somewhere, brother?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell us where? I'm curious. And you hate your tenants, don't you?
The east side of Milwaukee. I got about 80 doors, primarily on the east side of Milwaukee.
You got 80 units?
Yes, sir.
Of those 80 units, how many of your tenants do you just want gone? How you just want, if you could kick
about
them out?
20%.
20%, okay.
20%.
Are the majority
about 20% easily.
Majority of your tenants African American?
Yes, I would say about 60 to 70%.
Okay. Is there a difference in a black renter versus a non-black renter?
Yes, most definitely.
What are some differences?
I can say the white renter typically is a little bit more knowledgeable about their rights. They kind of leverage situations to their advantage a lot better. Like during COVID, my white tenants were really, really difficult. They also are a little bit more vindictive when they are facing eviction. So you'll come to our property with tremendous amount of damage, as well as
the whites are more vindictive and destructive. I'll be dipped. So that should make you not want to rent to white people anymore.
Hey, you ain't lied. But, I'm an honest person. It doesn't work for everybody. A poor white is worse than a poor black any day.
Huh. Thank you, Brandon. We appreciate your honesty, Mr. Landlord.
All right. Thank you, sir. Take care.
All right, then.
I have a question, Sherwin.
Ooh, I don't know if I'm renting from Brandon. I don't know if I'm living in his units now. What's the question?
Have you ever been evicted?
No.
Okay.
Should I assume you have been?
Hell no. I pay my bills.
Okay. But no, I haven't been evicted. That's damn, y'all. That he don't sound so. I should have asked him earlier in the conversation if he was a landlord, because he said, oh, well, the stove doesn't work because you're using the stove to heat the apartment. I'm not crazy. Y'all heard just what I heard. He said, well, the stove don't work because you're using the stove to heat the apartment. But then I said, okay, well, the furnace isn't working, the heat isn't working. Well, you only supposed to have the heat at 67 degrees. Now the furnace ain't working because it says 75. If you got a furnace that will go into disrepair because it's at 75 degrees as opposed to 67, here's how you remedy that. Now, I'm not telling any landlord how to manage their properties because I'm the last human being you want to take advice from when it comes to this. Makes the tenant pay the utilities. Nigga had a damn heat at $3,000. Let that We Energy bill come to them. I don't know. Now, I don't know if you can tell Sherwin that he can't set his heat higher than 67 degrees, because if that apartment is not energy efficient, you can set your heat at 67 degrees and it's still 61 degrees in the apartment now. I don't like how this is going now. We ain't going to screw over poor people. I know we hate them, but we can't kill them, obviously. We can't put them on Venezuelan boats and let Donald Trump bomb them. So we need to show people a basic level of respect. Because let me tell you something. Every last one of y'all been on hard times. Grief is a part of the human condition, but for some reason, we can't seem to relate anymore. Y'all getting all high and mighty, being disrespectful to your own people. Now, hold on. Now, I know it's some tenants that are some pieces of work. I know that. But damn, y'all.
I remember when I was a kid living on 19th Street, and my grandfather, they owned that house, and we had this old school big oil tank in the basement. It sometimes used to go out, so he would open up the oven, and during the night while everybody sleep, he'll heat up the house, and then he'll put like 2 big pots of boiling water on top of the stove to keep it hot as well.
Do what you got to do, I guess, because being cold is not fun. We're going to take a break. And we come back, we're going to talk to Red and James on the other side. So, Red and James, you guys sit tight. I'll be back to you in just a few minutes. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back shortly.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune into the award-winning 1017 The Truth Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Harder Canal Street Spotlight, this Wednesday at 3:57 p.m. between the Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. We'll be speaking with Marco Morrison, Executive Director at College Possible, a nonprofit organization that helps low-income and first-generation students with the college process and sets them up for success in college. Again, that is the Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Harder Canal Street Spotlight, this Wednesday with College Possible at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Ho, 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 my back.
Santa?
Ho, 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 Gina Della from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Yes. Next year, how about just asking for a Pella gift card? My elves are used to designing windows from other places where they're all pretty much the same. But Pella? Ho, 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 so many customizations and designs. My elves aren't qualified, so Santa has to put in some overtime. Ho,
Let me make a call. BRB.
Frighteningly fast Pella team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
Yeah, I know. Santa already lectured me. Ask for a Pella gift card.
What if you need new windows or doors, but you're on the naughty list?
Then this will definitely help. Right now, at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% interest for 24 months.
Ho, ho, ho! Visit the Pella site. And to all, a good night.
PellaWI.com.
Service restrictions apply. Ends 12/31/2025.
The Humane Animal Welfare Society, HAWS, believes in keeping pets healthy and families together. No one should have to choose between rent and veterinary care. The Wellness Clinic at Hawes Animal Shelter in Waukesha offers important basics of dog and cat care to our community. Pet owners can schedule general exams, sick visits, receive vaccinations, even get preventatives and nail trims. Appointments are available weekdays and can be scheduled by calling 262-542-8852. Contact Hawes of Waukesha today for your pet's care.
You hit the library. Shh, hard. And keep your eyes on the prize. Also, one day you can earn that bachelor's. Finishing what you start where you want, that's worth working for. And here is how you get there. Here at MATC, where smart programs prep you for next-level challenges. Earning your bachelor's can start right away. And graduation is just the beginning. Here's to an education that takes you farther. Here's how you get there. Here at matc.edu/get there.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. I do want to talk about when we identify a child's gap in achievement and we follow that trajectory of that child into adulthood, what that turns into. But first, let's talk to James. Thank you for holding, James. How are you?
I'm all right. I just wanted to talk about, you were talking about some of these landlords and how they do. I do some work for a lot of these landlords as far as the heating go, and these tenants are getting done wrong by some of these just get the apartment rent ready landlords. And like they met when one was saying that they heating the house with the stove. Some of them have been left with no other choice with a furnace that is older. I don't know what that the landlord doesn't want to change. So you're getting people stuck between a rock and a hard place. And if he's talking about 67 degrees, he must be paying the utility bill himself. But because I don't think for some of these houses and a lot of these landlords aren't really up at getting new windows and having these houses really to the point where they can be energy efficient so you don't have to run your heat and stuff like that. So, they can run into this stuff here and talk about those tenants, but I go in a lot of these houses that these landlords really, really don't want to do anything as far as the heating go. They think that a furnace lasts 100 years. But there's a life expectancy on everything. So
sure is, James.
They got to get that together.
Appreciate your call.
All right.
All right, then, James. We have a poll up on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device, search 1017 The Truth and hit subscribe. You'll be able to vote in our poll. And the poll question is very simple. Who's the bigger problem, tenants or landlords? With 53 votes, 62% of you say tenants are a bigger problem than the landlord. Let's talk to Red. Red, you're on 101 The Truth. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Good.
Yeah, I just heard that brother saying that, and he's right about that. I'm retired. I used to do a lot of work for these half gangster landlords out here. Okay, and they got them. I'm honest. Yeah, you honestly crooked, because just like that guy said, a lot of these furnaces in Milwaukee, especially on the east side, man, them things is older than mud. Man, they older than you. You know what I'm saying? And so they pay people to hang around on the street corner. Say, you know anything about electricity? Yeah, he said, I tell you what, I give you $25 and I'll buy you a bottle of liquor. Can you go fix it? And then, he might be able to fix it. You know what I mean? So a lot of these things are not up to code, man. So what you think somebody's going to do, freeze in their apartment? They ain't going to do that, especially black folks. These half-gangster landlords, then they got the nerve to raise the rent. Okay? I went down to the courthouse and everything years ago. The Marquette law students told me the courts are on the side of the landlords. That don't make you righteous. Okay? So, and a lot of these landlords running around here, they know they can get away with it because don't nobody pay attention to black folks, right? You can do anything to us. You can bring over people 5,000 miles away and rent places, get stores. Say, don't worry about the blacks. We got to, they'll destroy each other. Don't worry about it. Some of them get sex for rent. God bless you, brother.
Oh, thank you. All right, then. We used to run a PSA here at 101. It's not funny. It is. Just how he left that as his last comment. Some of them getting sex for rent. We used to run a PSA because I don't know if people were aware that if your landlord, ladies, says, hey, don't worry about the rent this month, and that's taking advantage of somebody in a whole bunch of different ways because it's Christmas time and everything is more expensive. Food is more expensive. Tariffs are making toys and Christmas gifts more expensive. Inflation is still out of control. And the landlord might say to a lady tenant, she's a single mama. She got a couple kids. The money's not lasting as long as it used to. And the landlord says, hey, Cindy, Tracy, Stacy, Lisa, whatever her name is, you give me a little slice of that thing and you ain't got to pay rent this month. For some people, that, while it's a horrible situation to be in, it could save you $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 a month. But not only is that illegal, that is a federal crime. I think it's even a crime if it's consensual. Because I know that happens. And ladies, because ain't nobody... Is a woman landlord asking a man for sex? Because for us, that probably would be a win-win. That you could get some loving and not have to pay rent that month. Now, this is assuming that your lady landlord is attractive. Well, I guess even if she's not attractive, because some men.
So you putting out?
No, I don't have to do that. I don't want to. I'm not faced with such a dilemma.
No, I'm saying if you had a woman landlord that's like, hey, Sherwin, you big stud.
Say more about that. How does she look?
Your type.
She is.
And she like, hey, you big stud, you late on your rent, and I heard you ain't got the money. So what you gonna do?
I'll be, well, ma'am, can I just have a couple extra days? I got somebody owes me some money, and I got a paycheck that's coming in. Can you just give me a couple of days, please, lady landlord, and I'll pay you by the end of next week. That's what I was.
And then she say, you ain't gotta pay me, Sherwin. All I need is 5 minutes.
I'm sorry, ma'am, I don't understand. You need 5 minutes of what? 5 minutes of my time? Would you like some advice? 5 minutes of what? What do you need 5 minutes of?
5 minutes in the bed.
Miss Landlord.
Oh. What you gonna say?
I would say
5 minutes.
5 minutes is a bit ambitious. That's asking for a lot, but
She got too much. She ain't got too much time on her hands. She got some businesses.
I'm just saying, I may not be able to last 5 minutes. Is what I'm saying. So I might disappoint her. But I would not want to be in that situation where if I'm short on my rent and then my lady landlord is offering me some of that thingamajig, I would not feel comfortable at first with that situation.
At first,
that's illegal though, and but also I'd be worried if I said to my landlord lady, what kind of hips she got? She curvy? Is she thick at all? Is she thick?
It don't matter if she's beautiful or she's bad looking.
It kind of helps.
If your rent two G's and is it pay 2 G's or 5 minutes of ding-a-ling?
Oh boy, I really don't like the scenario you're presenting me with.
I'm going with the ding-a-ling.
But I would feel immoral. I would feel like I did something very wrong, like I'm sacrificing.
I would make love to that landlord for 5 whole minutes if I could say 2 G's.
It would make me feel cheap. You know,
$2,000 ain't cheap.
No, but I'm sacrificing my principles.
You have no principles.
That's not true.
No, you don't, because you're thinking about it.
I don't want to be in that situation, and I feel for people that are, and I want folks to know that is illegal. But even, let's say you're in that situation, you're in a desperate situation, you don't have the rent, you got a whole bunch of Christmas presents you got to buy, your credit cards are all maxed out, you're in a real bad position financially, and your landlord says, hey, I'm offering sex for a reprieve on your rent. If you said to the landlord, you can't do that, that's illegal, that's against the federal law making me pay rent with physical intimacy, then the landlord may evict you then, right? So you run this terrible risk. I don't want people to be vulnerable, especially our people. I also wish that we would afford more dignity to people because all tenants are not bad. We know that there's terrible tenants, ladies and gentlemen, but I don't want to put all of our, especially African-American tenants in one basket, because we know that the law and the courts oftentimes side with the landlords, which is totally not fair because landlords can be very, very abusive. We also know that tenants can have a disregard for property. I mean, if you look at rental properties in certain parts of the city, there's no regard for them at all. They throw garbage out in front of their properties. You know, renters sometimes don't have that pride that a homeowner or a landlord or a property owner has. So I see where there is some difference of opinion in that regard, but I just don't want our people to be facing additional vulnerability because they might be a little short on money. And anywhere you go, if you want to live somewhere decent, I don't know if you can get a decent, let's assume you want at least 2 bedrooms. Can you get a decent, clean, roach, mice free, bed bug free, all the appliances work apartment for less than $1,000? Probably not. Not in the city of Milwaukee, you can. No way. I think our people deserve better than that. All right. Oh, boy. Should I take this one? Why don't we do this? You said don't. It's going to be a doozy. Well, I'm going to take a break, come back, and we'll answer the phone call on the other side. Maybe they have some perspective for us or maybe some insight because somebody has to stick up for our people that are very good tenants, but they just may have a bad landlord. I found it interesting when Brandon called in and he said, oh, these tenants, we don't even leave no damn tip. I am so tired of hearing from hosts, hostesses, and servers about the behavior of some African-American diners, especially if we're getting intoxicated, how we can be unruly, we can be disrespectful. We treat the servers like they are our own personal property, not even giving respect to the fact that that server might have 5, 6, 7 other tables. And then we ask for all these things. We're demanding, we're unruly, we're disrespectful, we're interrupting the diners that are next to us and in other tables. And then when it's all said and done, be a $300 bill and we leave $300.09. So I can see some tenants being the same way. I'm kind of torn on this situation. I just don't want vulnerable people to be exploited because they may be poor. That's not fair and that's immoral. And those of you that are Christians, you should know better. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The holiday season is here, and the countdown to 2026 has begun at Lake Lawn Resort. With all the holiday stress happening these days, imagine waking up next to a cozy fire in your own private suite along the shoreline of Delavan Lake. Enjoy much-deserved pampering at the award-winning Caladora Spa and special holiday dining options throughout the resort all month long, including at the signature 1878 on the lake. Book your holiday escape today, and don't forget to purchase those last-minute gift cards and receive free bonus money at Lake Lawn Resort, where the spirit of the season comes to life and everything is truly better at the lake.
Are you ready for open enrollment? Now through January 15th, you can explore affordable health insurance options if you don't already have coverage through your job, Medicare, or Medicaid. The Community Health Access Program, CHAP, helps residents find affordable plans and guides you through the enrollment process, connecting you with resources to support your family. CHAP is a program of the City of Milwaukee Health Department. Learn more at milwaukee.gov/CHAP. That is milwaukee.gov/CHAP, or calling 414-286-8620.
Hey, Truth Nation, it's Rhea Riley, and I'm here with Ashley Lucas from Associated Bank, and this is Making Your Money Work. Let's dive in. So, Ashley, how should a business owner look for the right bank?
It's really important that businesses understand what their bank offers for small business. There's a lot of different ways they can look for it. Number one is do your research. Always make sure you're looking at the website and the different products and services they have to offer. That could mean looking at minimum balances, looking at fees, and also make sure that you're asking friends and family that are also business owners. Is there a bank that they've really liked to work with in the past for their business? It doesn't always mean it's the same bank that you bank with personally.
And what questions should business owners ask their banks?
Yeah, so when you're ready to open a business account, it's really important that they're going to ask you questions at the bank. The bank is going to ask your average balances, if you use a debit card, how you make your payments. But it's really important that you ask questions back. You want to pick the top 3 things that are really important to you in a bank. That could be, what does convenience look like? How many locations do you have? What does digital banking look like if you're somebody that always does stuff for your business on the go? And lastly, who is your point of contact? Do you have a small business relationship manager assigned to you? Or is it just whoever's available to help you at the bank? Those are some types of questions that you could ask, but you want to come prepared with the things that are most important to you.
How can I find out if Associated Bank is right for my business?
Something I'm really proud of at Associated Bank is not only our small business product suite, but also the people that work at the bank. Every single one of our branch managers is business certified, and we also have a small business relationship management team. You can stop by in any one of our branches or call our virtual relationship management hotline at 1-800-270-7725, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. to get more information.
This has been Making Your Money Work, brought to you by Associated Bank.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Elroy Bilston is dropping a new single. This one is called Oh Lord. Speaking of someone who often calls the Lord, probably during orgasm, let's talk to, hello Al, how are you? I'm sure you have a lot to say on the topic.
Well, yes, first thing I want to say, you have good landlords and good tenants, but we got to stop grouping them with the bad tenants and the bad landlords. If you are a landlord, you should not be living in the same property that you're renting if you're territorial or you're very nitpicky. Also, the good tenants and the good landlords have to do their part, and when the landlord is not doing their part, you should be calling 286-3441, pressing 0 for neighborhood services. And the landlord, if they're not, the tenant not doing their part, you need to be hauling them down to the courthouse. But if they work for government, you're not getting no money. And if they hide their money, you need to do a financial disclosure to find out how you can get that money. Also, I wanted to say, too, you should not be sleeping with no landlord and you're only getting 1 month rent free. You're shortchanging yourself. Because I know if I sleep with somebody and I don't have a landlord, but if I did sleep with the landlord, I'm getting more than 1 month rent for free. Especially if I know I can make you fart. Especially I know if my stuff is good. Because sometimes if you do it too good, they will start farting, whether it's the front or the back. Okay? So if you only getting 1 month rent, you're shortchanging yourself. And we ain't even talked about if you got in their mouth. So save your money and also look for maybe buying you a house. And I'll call back tomorrow because I want to talk to you about Eck Housing. Because I've seen a lot of their houses they're doing, and there's a couple of issues with those. But I'm going to stay on task today. And
Alex, there's issues with Eck Housing.
up.
Chances are I probably can't do anything about it. Maybe we should direct it to them. Maybe.
Well, I would just call it because my only thing is if you're going to fix up a house, don't put the cheapest doors on it, and don't use untreated wood on the porch. And if the house is beautiful and trim, why would you put colors on a house that does not match and then you're asking for a $200,000 price tag and it doesn't have a garage? Because when you're working on a house, the house has to have that decor, because this is what they're spending a monthly payment on. But you cannot have a big, beautiful house and you're putting all these different colors on it. Mr. Hughes, that's like you having a top-tier suit and you're going to put on yellow dress shoes with pink drawers. Now you didn't took it. Now everything is not cording together. So that's all I'm saying. But I'll call them and just ask and talk to them about that, because if you're going to ask $200,000, you should make it look $200,000. Don't ask $200,000 and you didn't put no mind. You didn't take no time, and you just throwing stuff on. That's like throwing Chevy parts on an Eldorado Barrett. So now you're trying to ask new car prices. It doesn't work with an HT4100 or an aluminum motor. All right, everybody, it's Wednesday. Have yourself a wonderful day and do something kind for yourself. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. Oh, all right then. Surprised he didn't mention Hump Day, because that's what today is. Let's talk to Terry. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Sherwin. I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay. What's on your mind?
Very interesting subject. I'm a landlord. I've been a landlord for like 40 years. And I'll tell you, man, it's not easy being a landlord. I try to be the best landlord. I would not rent out anything that I wouldn't live in. So I keep my properties up. And, man, I tell you, I've had some horror stories. The thing now is that if a tenant gets evicted, it's a great possibility that they have nowhere to go. So all of the furniture that they have and all the furniture that they don't want, they leave it in your house. And these here tenants, they get retaliation. They retaliate against you because you evict them because they didn't pay their rent. So, you may get damages in the house that you have to repair. So it's a tough job, Although I have had some excellent tenants, along my rental career, but most of my tenants always, in the end, they have a problem. Even if they're moving out. These tenants, some of these here tenants, they will dog you out. Thank you,
Terry. Before you go, he's gone. All right, I wanted to ask him demographically, who are his tenants? Are they families, single men, single women, young people, maybe in their early 20s? But also, nobody said being a landlord is going to be easy. It's a profit-motivated endeavor with a hell of a lot of risk. You are probably better off putting your money in mutual funds and in stock market, in different stocks, than you are owning property, because property taxes are going to go up. There's going to be maintenance on the house. You're going to have to replace the furniture. You're going to have to replace the roof. You're going to have to cut the grass. You're going to have to replace the windows. You're going to have to paint the trim. There's a lot involved in that. And so for the landlords that have gotten bad tenants, obviously you screen them, but you always can't tell through screening who you're going to actually have in that apartment. And it's not just the person you're renting to. It's who they may have come and visit them that can oftentimes be the problem. But also, y'all is ripping people off. Can I just say for a moment, as someone who only paid a security deposit when I rented, now granted, I haven't rented since, I think I signed my last lease in either 2000 or 2001, so damn near a quarter century ago. Now they want first month, last month, security, incidentals. You end up paying, y'all dropping $5,000 just to be able to move in. And they say, well, the tenants, they're not paying the rent and I got to evict them. And look, I get it. You might be losing a little bit of money because your mortgage is every single month. And then you got some court costs or whatever. Knowing that the courts are likely going to decide in your favor, look what you get. You got whatever rent they did pay. You got first month rent. You got last month's rent. And you got security deposit and probably even, and then if they got pets, that's an additional deposit as well. So hold on now. Landlords is getting their fair share. And again, it ain't for everybody. If it's not for you, then liquidate your portfolio and put your money in the stock market where you ain't got to worry about nothing except Donald Trump's tariffs. Lisa, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Good morning, Sherwin. How are you?
I'm doing good. What's on your mind?
Tenants, you got to be very picky. I'm very picky.
You a landlord, Lisa?
See where you at? Yes, I am.
Really?
See where you're living at. See how you're living. Seeing how the house is looking on the outside. If you got the front screen door open, If you got any door open, If the grass ran down, I'm thinking about doing a credit check. So I try to be nice and lenient. And so far, so good.
You're supposed to do a credit check. Lisa, you mean you rent to people and don't check their credit?
Yeah, their credit can be terrible, but they might be clean tenants. That don't mean everything. Come on now, you got to think about that. That does not mean everything. Just because you got clean credit don't mean you're a clean tenant. I'd rather have a clean tenant than have them have clean credit.
Lisa, if somebody got a 750 or a 775 credit score, you're gonna get your rent.
Yeah, you're gonna get your rent, but your apartment might be nasty. They might be nasty.
Normally, it's the people that's nasty that's got like the credit score of 500 or 520.
No, that's a lie. Don't start judging people like that. That's a lie.
How many units do you own, Lisa? Because I don't trust you as a landlord. How many units you got?
What do you mean you don't trust me for?
Just answer my question. How many units you got?
So far, so good.
How many you got?
4.
Where are they? And are they in the city of Milwaukee?
On the north side, yes. And they pretty much, I got one lady that got 3 kids, and the other ones have 2. And they live. Look, you got to learn to live together. You got to let them know that. Sometimes have meetings with your tenants. Every month I have a sheet that tells me what needs to be done. Plumbing, electrical. Are you having any problems with that? Sign that. See, everything I've been doing is in writing. Sign that so you don't take me back to court. You don't take me to court. Well, my furnace, whatever, and you didn't come back. That's a lie because you told me in February that everything was good. Here go your paper right here. That's your signature, right? Everything in writing. Sometimes the other ladies have problems paying their rent. Talk to me. That's all you have to do. People fall in hard times. Talk to me. That's it.
All right, maybe I do trust you as a landlord. All right, you're fine.
Yeah, okay. I want my properties to look good because I want I need the value of my property to go up because when it passes on to my niece or whatever she want to do, she can sell it. My nieces, they can sell it. They can do whatever they want to do with it. So I want my values to go up. And besides, they're trying to make the north side urban. So you know how that is. So y'all want to move on out. Y'all go ahead on and move on out. I think I'll become a developer. I've been thinking about that lately, get my real estate license. I want to develop homes and communities. I've been thinking about it lately.
All right.
I've really been thinking about it. Because I can make money. You can make houses, sell houses, but sometimes it takes, a few months to get your money. People buying houses, they could be confusing. They work the nerve. They want everything for $200,000. They want a $1.5 million for $2 million house for $200. Y'all, come on, let's be reasonable. If you want that, baby, you better go build it. So people can be, they can work the nerves. They want everything, but they ain't got no money. And, especially black people, they want the good things. Y'all want to live nice. But y'all pay the rent, but you don't want to keep it up. You got to keep it up. You got to let me know. You want to paint it, you can paint it, but you're going to paint it back when you move out. If I want, like getting to shoveling the snow, I give a tenant a discount for shoveling the snow. Mowing the yard, give them a discount for mowing the yard.
What kind of discount?
Or whatever they want.
What if they shovel the snow and they cut the grass? How much of a discount they getting?
I give him off about yearly or monthly.
However you do it.
If it snows in that month, if that snows more than 4 times in that month, that's $100.
Oh no!
But other than that, it's like $50.
That's not enough, no.
Well, it don't snow that much. And 4 times in 1 month?
We just got a damn foot of snow over the last couple snowfalls. Now you need to do more than a little $50 now. $50.
$50. That's 2 times, and 4 times and more is $100 now.
Lisa, who the hell keep beeping that horn? Somebody over there beeping a horn.
I don't know. See, I don't know if that's the girl next door. That's why I'm trying to buy the house next door. Lord. And I told her to her father. And I done called him for the past 3 years, 4 years about her. Okay, you ain't listening? Okay. I'm going to call the alderman. That's ridiculous. You should hear the party she throw. They're choking it down. Oh, it's terrible.
All right.
Oh,
thank you, Lisa, for everything you've said.
Okay. You're welcome. You have a good day. Sherwin. I got to eat some ice. Bye-bye.
Why do people's last words before they hang up just be weird sometimes? I got to go eat some ice. Nobody asked you about it. James, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
What's going on, Sherwin, man? Look here.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I kind of agree. I kind of agree with Lisa. I'm a landlord. Well, not really no more, because all I buy is flip now. I buy them, I flip them. I would never, ever, ever rent again, man. I done got guns poured on me. People chase me down the street because I asked for the rent. I could be on the phone all day, tell you some crazy stuff, but I kind of agree with the few tenants. The best tenants that I had was 2 of them, man. They had evictions. I gave them a chance, and they were some of my best tenants, man. One little girl, she said, well, sir, I learned from my mistake. I was going through some bad times, blah, they did this and that, And she was one of my best tenants, man. She paid every month. When she got behind, she did call me. I worked with it. Things worked out. But the ones with the good credit score, man, oh, my God. They told my man, I don't even want to talk about that. But it ain't no money in that rent, man, unless you somebody like Barada, I bought a bunch of houses from the city, man. I got real good prices, $2,500, $3,000, $5,000. It's some work you got to put in them, But all I do, I buy a flip now. I would never rent. You putting your life in danger when you ask somebody for rent. The property management you deal with, I ain't going to say they garbage, because there's probably some good ones out there, but the ones I dealt with was garbage too, So I kind of agree with Lisa on that, man, that some of that you can run their background from here to Wazoo. You just don't know what you're going to get. You just don't know. The people I rented to, they seem like some of the nicest people. This one old lady, good credit. She moved her granddaughters. Well, that's just that, man. All right, sir, I got to go, man. But thanks for taking my call.
Thank you.
Yep.
James. Well, I guess my dreams of being a landlord have been dashed. I'm over here being all sympathetic to tenants. That's because I don't own any property, because I'm going to tell you what. Let's say I did buy a little duplex and rent it to some of my people, and I wanted to treat them fairly and give them a real nice, clean, decent place to live, and I go do like a little inspection, or they say something ain't working, I do a little walkthrough of my unit, and I see that they tore it up, I would have an absolute fit. I'd probably steal something from them. Hold on, I bought that property, And if you messing up my property that I bought with my money, I'm going to go in your unit when you ain't home when I'm taking some jewelry. But why you looking at me like that? They shouldn't be messing up my property then.
Sounds like a felony.
I don't want to. First of all, you can't prove it was me.
What if they got cameras?
No cameras in my units.
You can't do that.
No cameras in my. Then go live somewhere else. No cameras in my units.
Yeah, you can't be a landlord. You'll be a slum one.
Hey, no What you recording in my unit?
You are a slum landlord.
No, I'm not.
You are. You don't hear yourself?
You can't have no cameras in my. I got the cameras.
Oh, you want the camera?
It's my property,
man.
You can't put cameras. You can't surveil my property. That's my property. Gonna put cameras up. Gonna try and catch me walking into your apartment that you leasing and you got privacy. You gonna try to catch me walking in there when you ain't at home, laying on the couch naked. You don't be putting cameras up in my.
Why would you want to lay on that couch naked? What is wrong with you?
Huh?
You're a freaky landlord.
I own the property.
You're a freaky slum landlord.
I go on the property naked with some socks on. Like, what they got in the refrigerator? I got to take a break, though. We're supposed to be talking about achievement gaps. Now you got me over here wearing some socks in the unit, naked, making grilled cheese sandwiches. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
On Friday night, the Milwaukee Panthers take on the South Dakota State Jackrabbits at the Fiserv Forum.
Jump pass to the corner right. Elam, 10 on the shot clock. Back out for Zaya. Logo 3 for Zay. It's pure. It's pure. It's a 7-point lead. 65-58. I didn't think he was going to shoot that thing. I'm glad he did.
Scott Warris has the coverage Friday starting at 3:30 on 1017 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 4 p.m.
Hey, Truth Nation, it's your girl DT from The Truth Unfiltered with DT and Dr. Ken Harris. Now listen, at a critical time, through the Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, Old National Bank provided the resources I needed to sustain my business. Now the process had its challenges, but I was supported, and it was also an invaluable learning experience for future ventures. I am so grateful for the support that helped my business thrive. Old National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, all loans subject to approval.
Your benefits, competitive. And you built a culture so healthy, it's practically kombucha. Also, you can recruit the best. Building the strong workforce your company needs, that's worth working for. And here is how you get there. Here at MATC, where skills get built, best practices get hands-on practice, and industry-led programs equip candidates for their first day. Going up. By graduation day. Here's to turning real up-and-comers into your next hires. Here's how you get there. Here at MATC.
Ho, 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 my back.
Santa?
Ho, 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 Gina Della from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Yes. Next year, how about just asking for a Pella gift card? My elves are used to designing windows from other places where they're all pretty much the same. But Pella? Ho, 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 so many customizations and designs. My elves aren't qualified, so Santa has to put in some overtime. Ho,
Let me make a call. BRB.
Frighteningly fast pellet team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
Yeah, I know. Santa already lectured me. Ask for a Pella gift card.
What if you need new windows or doors, but you're on the naughty list?
Then this will definitely help. Right now, at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% interest for 24 months.
Ho, ho, ho! Visit the Pella site. And to all, a good night.
PellaWI.com.
Service restrictions apply. Ends 12/31/2025.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Gruber's Offices, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Is this true? Landlords will inspect the unit you're moving out of before they decide to let you move into their property? I guess that's fair. B. Bruce says Sherwin would be a bookman type landlord from Good Times. That's foul. That's not very nice. Bob, I hope you ain't no landlord. You'd be the worst landlord on the planet. You'd be terrible.
Hello, Sherwin. My mother and father were landlords until they died. I can remember they bought a 3-track when I was, 6 years old. And I cried and helped the people when my mother and father had to put the people on the 3rd floor out, and the police was there. Because I used to eat lunch over there during school. And they own a 3-flat. The way you make money is not buying a single house, but a 3-flat or a 4-flat or 6-flat. That's the way you make some money. So my father, he said to me, come over here and do this and do that. And I said, yeah, okay, Dad. Dad, don't you know this is going to be yours one day? I said, Dad, I'm not going to be a landlord. That's what I got out of it. I knew I would never, I told him, sell your place, go to Las Vegas, do what you want to do, but I cannot be a landlord. I can't put nobody out like that. It's just not me. It's not my personality. That's what I got out of it. And my mother and father were landlords until they passed. Even when they got a divorce after 30 years. At the end, they had their own place. Because, I owned 3 houses until I was 30, and I don't even want to have my own house. I like to call the people and say, fix this, fix the heater, or fix this. I like that. They shoveling the snow. I own 3 houses and I had them.
Bob, I would rent from you. I would live in a property that you owned. I absolutely would. I would never pay you rent, especially because I know that you would never put me out. So, yeah, I would move into a property that you own. I wouldn't pay you nothing. I wouldn't even pay you attention. But I got to go, Bob.
All right, then. Talk to you later.
All right, then. I don't know how many times I needed to hear him say, my parents, they was landlords to the day they died. Oh, I cried when they had to put the people out on the 3rd floor. So I guess in hour 3, we're going to be talking about identified achievement gaps. Some of the people that you guys would consider bad tenants probably didn't do very well in school, and that negative trajectory followed them, and now they're the people that we take advantage of because we take advantage of the poor people. But I come to find out, apparently these poor people are jerks as tenants, so maybe they deserve their bad treatment. Well, let's figure all that out on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. He's the voice for the people and the community's connection to change.
It is what it is. It's taxpayers' dollars. It's like monopoly money. It's like, you know what? We can just pay our bills with this money. You know what? The homeless, they already out there. They already in the tent. I walked past the other day. They were out there having fun and singing and stuff like that. I mean, this is what I'm saying. This is the attitude. Like, you know what? We're going to just take this money, right? We'll think about this in 2 months. We'll reconvene after we pay off our bills, and see what we got left.
Yeah, Christmas coming up.
Yeah, we got Christmas coming up. Yeah, basically, yeah. And it's just like this nonchalant attitude with the taxpayers' dollars. You know what? Look at MPS. Look how much money we threw at MPS right here in the city of Milwaukee. We throwing money at these places. Like, it ain't like they don't have the funding.
The Tory Lowe Show, weekdays from 1 to 4 p.m. Live on YouTube and right here on 1017 The Truth. where strong voices meet strong opinions.
The district had, as a whole, was 59.5. That was awful. It was bad. But it is not just the MPS story. It is a story for the city of Milwaukee when you talk about some of these schools. So when we talk about the state of education, we just can't always talk about MPS. We got to talk about Milwaukee as a whole and why there are so many failing schools in Milwaukee. But we bash MPS, understand it is beyond MPS. MPS just has to educate your kids. But I love the fact that we have a new superintendent that is acknowledging that these scores are not good enough. I love the level of accountability. Casellia said in response to the results, she said, we need to grow more and faster to truly meet and exceed the expectations that our families and community have for us and the expectations we have for each other as educators. Our new literacy plan is the first step towards a stronger growth. And I love it.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace every weekday from 12 to 1, streaming live on YouTube and on 1017 The Truth.
Metastatic breast cancer, or stage 4 breast cancer, happens when cancer spreads beyond the breast to other parts of the body. About 168,000 women are living with it today, with Black women at a higher risk due to various factors. Research has led to treatments that help manage the disease and improve quality of life. The Everyday Counts study explores how nutrition and exercise coaching can support women with metastatic breast cancer. To learn more about the Everyday Counts study in Milwaukee, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu. If you or someone you know has stage 4 breast cancer, please encourage them to call and enroll in this valuable study. Again, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu.
Breaking news, weather, entertainment, and sports. We have it all here. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Ricky, before you go, let me get a
No.
Hang on now.
No.
First of all,
you ain't never bought me lunch.
If you look what time it is. What time is it?
I technically could leave because I got permission from my boss.
I'm the boss.
No, you're not. You're just the host.
So you just get up and just decide at 11 o'clock you want to go buy lunch, huh?
That's technically cool. I'll get off the clock. Zach here.
You can go get lunch, but I'm asking you, go get your boy something.
When have you ever bought me lunch, sir?
Oh, I can't believe you would say that. Ricky.
It's a question.
I took you to a Bucks game and sat you.
All right.
I sat you courtside. You know how
did
many
like a baller's supposed to.
You know how many lunches you owe me for that? Here, all I'm asking for is give me some sushi. You know, I never had no pho. I never had. Go give me a pho.
I'm gonna take you somewhere better. I'll take you somewhere better.
How about you answer the phone? You know what? Never mind. Hello?
That's Terry with a T.
Terry with a T. Turn the radio down.
Oh man, I made a mistake to call. I made a mistake to call you.
All right then. Bye. See ya. Y'all be pocket dialing your boy. That happens more often than you guys think. In fact, there's been a few people that pocket dial us, and I think they were cheating on their spouse.
But no, I'm gonna take you somewhere better for
lunch. No. You just don't want to buy me lunch right now.
No, I'm saying they pho is good. They pho is good, but take you to a better spot.
Pho, P-H-O, pho.
It's not pronounced pho. It's spelled like that, but it's not pronounced like that. It's pho.
Well, pho you.
Pho you.
Give me some of that Asian soup.
What?
It's Asian soup. Right, that's what pho is. Go get your lunch then. Ricky going to get pizza. I don't want no pizza. I had pizza yesterday. Ooh, I got so much pizza yesterday. Shout out to Ma D. I mean, wait a minute. Technically, I bought the pizza. He just delivered it to me. On another note, so far confirmed, we have Denise Thomas confirmed for my commemoration of 5 years on 101.7 The Truth. Denise Thomas is confirmed. She's going to call in on that Monday, January 5th, and then she's going to be in studio with me that following week. Also, Denise has published a book, ladies and gentlemen. She's going to give you all the details about the book. She's sending me a copy of the book, so I'm going to read the book, and we're going to talk about the book when she is in studio. I think that's going to be the week of January 12th. Denise Thomas is going to be back in studio with me because really the whole month of January, I'm going to commemorate the 5-year anniversary of 101.7 The Truth. We might even do Beyond the Mic style event, but it'll be something that I am doing. The station will not be involved in that. Also, Melanie Ricks is confirmed in studio with me on that Monday.
Pew, pew, pun gun.
January 5th. Play that again.
Pew, pew, pun gun.
She'll be here with me. I did talk to Joe Brown. Unfortunately, Joe Brown is going to be in Las Vegas that Monday, but he is going to try and call in because some of you may not know that Melanie Ricks and Joe Brown, they were the original morning show that we had here when we launched 101.7 The Truth on January 4th, 2021. So I'm trying to get all of the people that have made 101.7 The Truth what it is and got us to the 5-year mark. I want to do a little reunion of sorts. I wonder how they would feel if I had Ben and Carrie in the studio. They technically would be my guests. And if it was not for them, I don't know that we would have accomplished all that we have with 101.7 The Truth. And I think that it's only fair that they get to be a part of the 5-year commemoration of this brand that a lot of people thought would not work. Also, I got to get Telly Hughes in studio. Who was Zach, you remember the one lady? That's been a few. Remember Bree? Just Bree? Where is she at? I'd like to get her back because she was with us for a few years. And then who was the other lady, Zach? She was a comedian.
Yeah, I know who you're thinking of.
Her name started with an S.
She wore glasses.
No, she didn't. She was, I think her and Melanie were friends. Sonora, Sanita, Sonia Rita. We've had so many hosts here. But I want to do a blast from the past and bring some of our previous. She was a comedian. She moved to Chicago.
I say, yeah, she ended up moving because she got married.
We can't remember her name.
Stephanie.
That one. Stephanie was another one. But the one we're thinking of is not Stephanie. Stephanie
was the comedian.
Stephanie was tall.
It was like Stephanie B or something.
I know. Well, then who was the tall lady that had the braids? I don't know, whatever.
She was a host?
They co-hosted. I think that might have been the afternoon show because we went through a lot of changes, you know?
Oh, not in the afternoon, though.
Was it? It must have been the morning show. Okay, whatever. Let me answer the phone. Let me grab a telephone call. Black Conscious, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
I'm well under the circumstances, but knowledge yourself and health is wealth.
What's wrong with the circumstances? What's wrong?
I'm not ready to share that.
Oh,
it's kind of complicated. Yeah.
It's with a woman.
With the wife, man.
If it's a woman, we could fix it.
Yeah. Nah, not in this one, brother.
All right, then.
But I'll share with you later on a different time zone, different place.
All right.
But, you should bring those two back as guests. They were part of the original team at one time. And as awkward as it may be, they deserve that.
Wouldn't be awkward for
Carrie
me.
And, it wouldn't be awkward for us. I mean, after all, you got to pay homage to where homage is due.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, that's just my thoughts when you said that. I was like, yeah, that'll be a great idea.
I miss them guys.
Yeah, catch them every once in a while on their new platform. But, yeah. But live righteous, Milwaukee. It's a warm day. Violence is down. Keep it down.
All right. Thank you. I'm starting to notice that everyone has like a parting phrase when they get off the phone with me. Violence is down. Go hump somebody. Put your gun away. Like, it's always these little phrases and public service announcements that people give, and we love it very much. We appreciate each and every one of you and your creative sentiments when you call our show. Okay, so as I'm looking at why continuously, I think I know why, but I have to qualify the reason. I can't just say that racism is not, contrary to what white people think, I have to have more conversations with white people about what racism is, and they created it, they invented it, and they have used it to further their interests, but still don't know what it is. So or maybe they don't want to admit it. White people think that racism is just rude white people being disrespectful to black people. They don't see the system, and I'm nervous and I get worried when they don't see the system and the institution because they are furthering it. And it's so, I can't even describe it. It's frustrating because you're talking to maybe fully accomplished white people that will tell you all the things they've done. Sherwin, I did this and I did this and I did. But you don't have a basic 5-year-old black child's understanding of institutional and structural racism. You think that racism is just when you see a couple of reels on Instagram of a white person yelling out the N-word and you dismiss that as, oh, they're just being rude. They have no idea. And it's very, very problematic because these white folks think that whatever they have accomplished in life, they should lead with, when they should lead with, yes, I've accomplished these things, but I accomplished these things in a system where black and brown people it was more difficult for them to even be competitive with me. I'm also coming to find out, and again, this is no fault through white people, it's the fault of their ignorance of our system. As I was going down these weird rabbit holes of trying to analyze why black children are still lagging behind educationally, and we still complain about it. Then what do? We ask the taxpayers for more money, and we still complain about it. It is intentional. I know that white society has no interest in educating black kids. For what? So black kids can outcompete white kids? Think about that for a second. If we spent time, effort, energy, and money for a whole generation to build prisons and to have a war on drugs, you think that racism went away? You think it just disappeared? It is manifesting itself in different ways. It's obviously taken away DEI, making affirmative action in college admissions and hiring, totally unconstitutional. It's some of that, but it's also making sure that black children are lagging behind. So no, they're not building prisons anymore because that is too expensive. Plus, we have new bodies to put in the prisons, and those are migrants who are about to be deported. But that same brand, that flavor, that theme, that taste of racism that existed then, it still exists now. I get a lot of heat, and I welcome it. I welcome it because it's an opportunity for me to extinguish ignorance. People say, oh, sure, when you grew up in Brown Deer, you grew up with all those white folks. Here's what disadvantage black people have. When you grew up in a segregated black neighborhood and you did not grow up around white folks, you have no idea how evil they can be. You genuinely think that these white folks, because they talk to you and because they're polite to you, that they actually like you. I have been able to see how evil they actually are, but their evil comes with a smile. Their evil comes with politeness. Their evil makes you feel welcome so that they draw you in. The other thing about growing up out there when I did, some people think that, oh, you grew up with all them white folks, you think you're white. White people will never let you think that. You are more hyper aware of your blackness when you're around white folks than you are when you're around all black people. Because when you're black, it's just understood. It's known. There's cultural similarities. There's language similarities. You like the same music. You probably watch the same TV shows. You wear the same fashion. There is no glaring contrast between you and the other black person. There's no racial glaring contrast. When you're around white folks, you never forget it. Ever. And the unfortunate thing is you got black folks to get out here in the world and have never had those kind of deep, personal, intimate experiences with white racism, and they think that it's sweet. They think that white folks actually like us, or they think that if we work really, really hard and if we pull our pants up and if we follow the rules, that they will give us opportunity. No, they will not. That's the biggest misconception that exists. If you have not grown up with them to see how the evil gets poured into them as children. But here's the thing, they still can be nice. And with women, it's even worse. Black women that are on air, what is this? I know damn well. Am I dying?
They bought you.
You just went to heaven,
who bought
and
me
the
this?
right kind of heaven this time.
Who bought me
Not the wrong kind.
Who bought me this phone?
The workers from FUD, they heard it. They heard you talking about it. They gave you one. They gave you a tray.
You lying to me. I even got a tray for the foe. Y'all lying. Hold on now. Wait. Let me try. I ain't never had it before. I feel like, oh, thank you, Mr. Foe Man. Look, he waving. I would like to apologize for all of the things that I may have. I love the Asians. I don't know if they know how much I love them. I love them. I love them so much. So what is, I put all this, oh, this is like sauces and stuff. I need to be nicer to people. Let me see. Oh my God, look at that. Here, let me get a sip. And you just, it's even got, look at the spoon. It's got a special spoon to it. So wait a minute, Ricky, did you get something too?
I'll always eat there, so they know who I am, but I got pizza today.
Oh, it's delicious.
You're going to be full, though. You ain't going to eat nothing else for the rest of the day. If you do, that means you really is a big bag. If you eat something after that, that is very fulfilling.
Hold on, one more. Hold on. Let me get one more. Oh, it's very delicious. Faux Spot people. Everyone, if you happen to be at the 3rd Street Market Hall, come check out the Faux Spot. They have some of the freshest and most delicious faux. So do I put this in the faux? Rick, this right here? What is this? Is mint. It smells like. And these are bean sprouts. So I'm going to put this in there. It's got lime. You squeeze the lime in it.
You squeeze the lime in it, and then you set it in there, yes.
Okay, and you put the lime in there.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, jalapeno. I love me some jalapenos. And I'm going to do the bean sprouts. Oh, this is delicious.
Dude been eating free all week off of people.
No, stop saying that. I pay my dues. Tell me I don't pay I pay with my life. I'm like Jesus. I died on the cross in this studio for y'all.
Blasphemy is crazy.
I died for y'all. Ain't going to give me no credit for dying for y'all's sins. Especially you bad landlords. Oh, look, it's JD the poet. JD, you hang on now. I'm going to get my phone together, and I'm going to take your call on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back. I love the Asians.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The revolution starts in our mind, right? You know when Gil Scott-Heron said the revolution won't be televised? Like he didn't mean that you won't be able to watch it on TV. He means the revolution starts in your mind. You nincompoop. Y'all been running around saying that for 60 years. The revolution won't be televised and didn't even know what the hell it meant. It starts with us.
Let him cook. Watch all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows by subscribing to 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Ho, 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 my back.
Santa?
Ho, 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 Gina Della from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Yes. Next year, how about just asking for a Pella gift card? My elves are used to designing windows from other places where they're all pretty much the same. But Pella? Ho, 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 so many customizations and designs. My elves aren't qualified, so Santa has to put in some overtime. Ho,
Let me make a call. BRB.
Frighteningly fast pellet team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
Yeah, I know. Santa already lectured me. Ask for a Pella gift card.
What if you need new windows or doors, but you're on the naughty list?
Then this will definitely help. Right now, at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% interest for 24 months.
Ho, ho, ho! Visit the Pella site, and to all a good night.
PellaWI.com.
Service restrictions apply. Ends 12/31/2025.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Elevate your game day gear or any outfit with official merchandise from the Milwaukee Bucks Pro Shop. From authentic jerseys to exclusive apparel and accessories, the Bucks Pro Shop has everything you need to showcase your fandom wherever you go. Cheer the Deer to victory with authentic Milwaukee Bucks items. Visit us at the Bucks Pro Shop at Fiserv Forum or Bayshore Mall, or shop online at shop.bucks.com.
The Humane Animal Welfare Society, HAWS, believes in keeping pets healthy and families together. No one should have to choose between rent and veterinary care. The Wellness Clinic at Hawes Animal Shelter in Waukesha offers important basics of dog and cat care to our community. Pet owners can schedule general exams, sick visits, receive vaccinations, even get preventatives and nail trims. Appointments are available weekdays and can be scheduled by calling 262-542-8852. Contact Hawes of Waukesha today for your pet's care.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You know when people be getting food and they got a big bag, they be dancing. I got some food. Shout out to the faux spot. They got, hold on, man, get that camera from behind me. Oh, you trying to get the faux on the camera?
Trying to get that big back.
It's so good. And it is filling, Rick, you're right.
I know it's filling. You ain't going to be able to move out. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'll move out of the way.
Yeah, introduce you to something new.
Yeah, that's proper right there. Go to the faux spot, everybody. Go tell them I sent you.
I was eating up every day for
I know.
I
would see you. I would see you go over there. And I never tried it because I don't know how to order it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you... They also have these sandwiches called banh mi. I've never had those either. Let's talk to JD the Poet. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
What's going on? I ain't the official poet laureate no more.
Oh, you are. I'm just a little distracted because I'm eating pho. Have you ever had pho before,
it's
JD?
Buzz, not pho.
I said pho you, buddy.
It's pho.
Who the pho you talking to?
You.
Rick, get on his ass. Yeah, fine. You don't know. You don't be going to them nice restaurants. Sure wouldn't be at Salito, Lindo, and shit.
Don't cuss, JD. What's on your mind today? Oh, why? Don't hang up on him. Yeah, you just bleep that out. Do people hear it? Stop hanging up. JD, call back. And don't, because I want him to be on the phone because I need another scoop now. JD, or just, here, let me take the call. You inadvertently said a profanity and Zach got a little mad at you. So go ahead. Don't cuss.
I apologize. Can I apologize?
Go ahead.
I apologize. But Sherwin, no, you got to eat that. That's good. But what I really wanted to call in about was about the white racism and how white people feel about black people. That was really my original call.
Say more about that.
So what it is white people have always had a profound fear of black people when they met us because we are the ones that gave them knowledge of self and a total understanding. What the reason that they were able to take advantage of us was only because of guns, and then they divided us up, and there was no one could understand how the slave trade would end up affecting the diaspora of blackness in the Western Hemisphere. And that's exactly what happened. And that's why white people never really have ever been allies and can't. It's even barely, and I got white friends, and you know that, but they still not right. The racism is inherent in them, and the little things they say. Even to me, as a black man that's educated, and they think you don't pick up on those nuances, but we really do, just like you saying. Because I know you got white friends too, and we rock with them, but they be on pure garbage.
That's true, man. But I try to, because sometimes they'll say things and not know that it's hurtful, harmful, and offensive. And they legitimately don't know sometimes. So what I do is I'll point it out. But if they use the same phrase or do the same behavior again, that's when I know it's intentional. Because sometimes they don't know. Like as a man, I may sometimes say things that are inadvertently offensive to women. And then my women friends will be like, yo, don't say that. That's offensive. And I take it in. I accept the moment. I apologize. And then I remember to not use that phrase again or to think about things differently. Some white folks have that ability. Some of them don't.
They don't. And that's where the power of discernment come in and acting like Jesus. Jesus said, when you walk and you go somewhere and they don't like you, he said, you dust your feet off, he said, and you don't go back. That's real biblical right there. And that's how we have to keep our lives. If there are white people that don't want us around, we wipe our feet. We don't go to those restaurants and just keep trying to impress them. They don't care about our money. We don't spend our money nowhere where nobody wants us. We need to be where we need to be at and to take care of ourselves.
I agree with you, JD, the official poet laureate of 1017 The Truth. You know what, JD? We have our 5-year anniversary of 1017 The Truth coming up in January, and you have been with us literally since day one. So if you could, think about a special piece that we would love to have you recite when we do our 5-year anniversary commemoration on my program on Monday, January 5th. So you got some time, let the motivation hit you when it does to put something together. And we would love to hear your take on 5 years of 1017 The Truth.
All I'm gonna do is applaud the truth. You know what's going on the truth? We got Sherwin laying it down every day from 9 to 12. Got Kyle on deck. Then Tory Lowe coming. He all in the hood. Him and Liz Brown. That part. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Ken come with us with the police perspective, but it's still a black man disguised as something else. But Dr. Ken loved black people probably more than all of y'all. It's so real. People don't understand it. It's a game we playing because we have to fool our people. Our people need entertainment along with they knowledge that they getting, and that's what y'all all bring something different. Then Homer them in the morning, you know what I'm saying? It goes down on the truth. All my friends listen. My guys in the kitchen right now, we sitting here chopping it up. They listening to me. But you know what I'm saying? I love y'all though.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying, Sherwin?
We love you too, man.
I see you. All right.
All right then, JD. That's very nice of him.
All right.
I put all of the. So it comes with a bunch of different hot sauces. It's got this, and I put all the hot sauces in the pho.
That's what you get. Now you
I put the
struggling.
Sriracha chili sauce in there in a little packet, okay? But then it came with these two, little plastic containers, and I can see the red pepper
That's called
flake.
chili oil.
Okay, well, it's 2 different chili oils. So I put both of them in here, and now my nose is running. So, look, it's time to take a break. It's really good, though. It's like, because you get to assemble it. You get to put in your jalapenos and the bean sprouts, and you put in all of the chili oils. Thank you to the people at the Faux Spot. I need to take...
You need some water?
Let me get a little bit of water.
Want me to take you to break?
Mm-hmm.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You get up early and double up on double shifts, all so your kid can play club soccer. Making your family's dreams possible? That's worth working for. And here is how you get there. Here at MATC, where you invest in yourself and we invest in you. Where career-focused programs make moving up and earning more possible. Here's to an education that lifts your family higher. Here's how you get there. Here at matc.edu/get there.
You make time for everyone else. Family, work, everything in between. Now it's time to take care of you. If you're 45 to 64 and don't have insurance or your plan doesn't cover screenings, you may qualify for free mammograms and Pap tests through the City of Milwaukee Health Department's Breast and Cervical Cancer Awareness Program. Call 414-286-2133 to see if you're eligible. Real self-care starts with your health, and early detection saves lives. Funded by Wisconsin Well Woman. Learn more at milwaukee.gov/wellwoman.
This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 101.7 The Truth.
And what are some of the ways that you're inspiring people? Because, one of the biggest opportunities, in particular in the African-American community, is access, exposure, and awareness.
For Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin, we've been here 76 years.
Wow.
And our mantra is saving the lives you love. So if someone you love needs a blood transfusion and they're in any hospital in Southeast Wisconsin here, that blood's coming from us. And so we're trying to make sure that we're communicating that, because I think folks maybe don't understand that blood can't be manufactured. And summers are always tough because schools are out and we collect about 20 to 25% of our blood from schools. Mm-hmm. So it's always a day-to-day struggle. We say that the blood that's on the shelves is the blood that saves lives. And a lot of times people are compelled to donate when something bad happens. And our mission and our job is to educate folks so that we can get ahead of the curve and keep 3 days of inventory on the shelves. Mm-hmm. So we're in a decent spot right now, but we're on the streets every day trying to inspire people to join our mission. One of our big projects that we're proud of is Versity on King, which is part of the Thrive on collaboration in the Gimbel Schuster building on Martin Luther King Drive. And next year, we're going to open a destination center there. It'll be a blood donation center, but it'll be more than that, because we've realized that we can't be transactional with our relationships in the Black community. We need to do things that are intentional and that show that we're there to stay. But the reason that we're there is because not enough people that look like us donate. And so for disorders like sickle cell disease that disproportionately affect us, the race can matter. But I like to say that, Black folks have a superpower in their blood. 44% of Black blood donors will have this rare trait that makes their blood more likely to be able to be a match for a sickle cell patient. And that 44%, that is way higher than what we would find in other races.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Say you love me, it doesn't matter, it goes into my head as just chit chatter. You may think it's egotistical or just very free, but what you say, I take none of it seriously. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell you so. I'd let you pretend to read me, and then you'd know. Cause I hate when one attempts to analyze. In fact, I despise those who even try to look into my eyes to see what I am thinking.
All right.
That dream is
Thanks,
over.
Rick. Oh, that's really filling, and it's hot. I'm sweating. I need it. That's why I don't like these lights in here, because my forehead shines when I'm sweating. It's so good. But I love hot food. So I don't want poor people to be taken advantage of, and people are taking advantage of poor people. And we crap on them because y'all been mean to poor people today and yesterday, quite honestly. Let me check our YouTube poll, because I want to analyze our education system and the gaps that exist that we always talk about between Black and white achievement. We don't do anything about them, and I think we don't do anything about them because at the root of what America is, it's unfair to undesirable people. This administration is just making it more plain, and they're laying it bare, which is very shocking to people, because there's whole generations of Black people that don't think that white people are all that racist, because the white people that they know have been very nice to them. But they don't understand the covert means in which whiteness uses to harm and go behind the backs of Black people. They'll be close to you and get to know you and smile in your face, so you disclose intimate details and you disclose your vulnerabilities to them, and then they'll take advantage of that, because the whole thing about whiteness, in order to maintain it, you cannot let Black people catch up, because they don't want to live in a world in which we are outperforming them. In fact, here's what's so crazy about it. They're not even like obsessed with excellence. They will ruin everything as long as it's all white people that are calling the shots. Look at this nation. Who gets nominated by a party should be the best that you have to offer. And I know some of y'all didn't like Kamala Harris, and you don't like her because she's got a white Jewish husband, or you didn't like her because she's a woman, or some of you didn't like her because she was black, but you couldn't question her policy-making ability. You couldn't question her understanding of the law, being an attorney general for the state of California, being a former U.S. senator, being a prosecutor. You cannot question any of her credentials. On paper, she slaughters Donald Trump academically and policy making. It's not even close. She was, whether you like it or not, she was the best that we had. And she was a woman. Trump is not the best that y'all can do. And when I say y'all, you know exactly who I'm talking about. But you don't care about excellence. All y'all care about is whiteness being on top. And here's where it's really unfortunate, because I've been able to conceptualize why, quote unquote, poor working class white people vote against their best interests. First and foremost, what we need to understand as black people is anything that is racist is their best interest, right? So anything that harms us or takes away from us, even though it takes away from them too, that is their best interest. We seem to think that they're in it with us. Now, technically they are, but to them they're not, because they have what W.E.B. Du Bois calls the psychological wage of whiteness. To them, their whiteness is status, even though it doesn't pay them. They'll never be rich. They'll never be millionaires. They'll never be billionaires. But they have social currency in their whiteness. So they vote for other white people because they believe that they are the same race, therefore the same social status as somebody like Donald Trump. But we know the truth. Their social status is the same as ours. If you are poor and white, it's almost worse than being black, because you are expected to do better, because you have everything given to you by society. I'm not saying that you won't have issues and problems and troubles. I'm not saying that, but the color of your skin will never be one of them. Don't nobody care how accomplished I am. They don't care about my college degree, my policy-making experience working in every single level of government. They don't care about that. Sometimes when I walk in a room, all they see is a black person who probably received what I received because of an affirmative action policy. I can be reduced to that just because of the color of my skin. White folks ain't got to worry about that. But the biggest concern is they're not even concerned about excellence. My concern is that concern. They'll put up, Pete Hegseth is the worst person that could ever be the Secretary of Defense. Linda McMahon is the worst person that could ever be the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Education. They don't have an obsession with excellence. As long as it's white folks, they'll let white folks run this country into the ground as long as it's white folks that's doing it. They would rather white folks run this country into the ground than somebody like Barack Obama lift this country up. That's how bad it is. So I want to try and conceptualize for you all these achievement gaps, which I think they measure the achievement gaps by how wide they are, because there's no incentive really to shrink them. If America wanted black children and white children to get the same education, we would make it so. We would not complain about the undereducation of black or of white kids rather for 30 years. We would fix it. In fact, we wouldn't even complain about the underperformance of white kids for a semester. They'll bring in reading specialists. They'll have smaller class sizes. They'll build alternative schools. They'll do all sorts of things. But with us, they know that the gap between us and our students, it's almost like their survival gap. Unaccomplished, unmerited white people get to live in the distance between black scholastic achievement and white scholastic achievement. Does that make sense? So where we lag behind as black people and as black children or young black adults coming out of high school, our deficiencies in reading comprehension, and math is where they get their opportunities. So if we shrink that gap, then we're shrinking the opportunity that they can get to get the job, to get the management position, and to get the promotion. So they need the gap in order to exist, because I know this much. You have an education system that the black population is too small to segregate, and black children getting the exact same education as their Caucasian counterparts. What we found in a number of states is that black boys, when they are not ostracized because their populations in certain schools and certain districts is too small to segregate, they outperform white students and they have a higher high school graduation rate. That scares the hell out of them because they can't have a world where black people and black children are growing up to become educated and college educated and being the purveyors of business. They don't want a world where we are doing, as black people, doing the hiring and promoting. That is their worst nightmare because they probably have the same fear that we do. They may think that black people may not be able to recognize white talent like white people are completely blind to black talent. In fact, our talent gets disciplined either because they're afraid of it or they don't know how to recognize it. And then when our talent is not recognized, we get frustrated, and our actions that we do out of frustration gets disciplined. Let's talk to that one guy. You're on 1017 The Truth, that one guy.
Hey, boy. Thanks for taking my call, Sherwin.
You're welcome.
So I want to talk about, thanks. I want to talk about the landlord-tenant situation. I saw you got the poll up. I was a tenant in Milwaukee. I lived on 23rd in Wisconsin for like 6-7 years, the Jeffrey Dahmer area.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked it, my rent was $600, very cheap, but it was a shoebox apartment on the third floor. A little way out of date, like 70s style furniture, lower cabinets. But that's what I called home. It was my pad, and I have a house now. I've been in a house for a year now. I live in Thurston Woods, so got to save a little bit of money. But what made me move out was my rent kept going up. Eventually, I was bumping almost $1,000. And if you're paying over $1,000, you better just buy a house already. But my point is I think it's a combination of the both. My landlord for that particular building was very, very nice. She was very fair. But I saw there was a lack of respect with the tenants. They would trash things, leave their messes, or in this one instance, this guy that was outside on the yard burning his bed. I don't know why he was burning his bed. I think he was new in this country, but I had to yell at him through the window, hey, what are you doing? No, you can't burn that. He didn't speak English. But I think he was just trying to burn his bed bugs or something. Yeah, gross, right? But
so wait, he was setting his mattress on fire outside of the apartment building?
Yeah.
Oh.
He didn't speak a lick of English, so can you imagine a guy from Africa and a guy from Mexico trying to talk to each other?
You from Mexico? You a Mexican?
Yeah, I'm Mexican.
I got a question for you. Mexicans.
What's up?
Some Mexicans don't like black people.
It's both ways, But
what do you mean it's both ways? Some of the Mexicans hate our guts.
Yeah, but we're talking about the baby boomers. There's nothing we can do about the baby boomers.
No. This generation, because I think that how black people in America are marketed to Mexicans, some of y'all think that we're terrible.
Look, let me tell you something.
And some Mexicans think they're white, though, too, that one guy.
Let me tell you something. That's true. I have a couple of cousins that dye their hair blonde, and they have those blue eye contact things, and they think they're like Kim Kardashian. I don't know. They think they're white. But anyways, what I'm trying to say, if you're black people that go to Mexico, man, they get treated like royalty over there. Mexicans love the blacks over there. Really? I don't know what's wrong with the Mexicans over here. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with the Mexicans over here, but Mexicans over there, we love blacks. We welcome black people. We like visitors. Just don't get involved in under the table business, and then you'll be okay. So
thank you for that advice.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the call. We'll talk later. See you.
That call.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
He was like, "Yeah, we love you, but don't mess around when you get here." It was kind of a threat.
We love you visitors.
You're like, yeah, but don't make it your home. Yeah, we love it when you visit. Yeah, but make sure you take your black ass back to New York or Peoria, Illinois.
And that had me kind of,
Did you hear when I asked him when I said Mexicans don't like black people and that stutter came out? He was like, abada. It's the baby boomers. No, these current Mexicans, because a lot of them, Especially if they're fair-skinned, and like he said, he's got cousins that dyed their hair blonde and got blue contacts in. Guess what? ICE is coming for them because you can't hide that last name, Martinez, Lopez, Guadalupe. What do you mean? I'm American, Holmes. ICE come with them vests on, with them masks on. What do you mean? You can't take me back to Guadalajara? No, I don't want to go back.
You stop. Just stop.
No, I'm talking about the ones that don't like us, but then they get here and they find out. Because here's what one thing black Americans ain't got to worry about. ICE ain't taking us. ICE does not want us. They come over here thinking that they better than us, and we can walk right past the ICE van. Well, hey, Mr. ICE, how you doing? Hey, Sherwin, go ahead and move along. Nothing to see here for you. We don't want you. Wait a minute, Mr. ICE, man. Why did you grab Sherwin?
Sound like the Martin episode. I don't know, Martin. I didn't want to go to Arizona.
I didn't want to go to Arizona. Sorry, I lied to you, Martin. National Standardized Test Assessment, the nation's report card. Overall performance patterns. White students consistently score higher than black students on reading and mathematics assessments in grade 4, 8, and 12. This racial achievement gap is virtually everywhere. Long-term NAEP data show, so the NAEP is the nation's report card. Long-term NAEP data show, although black students made gains in earlier decades, disparities persist because white students' scores often improved as well and improved faster. Recent trends. After the pandemic, overall scores dropped, but black students' performance declined more sharply than white students, indicating widening racial gaps in reading and math proficiency. Substantial achievement gaps remain. Public NAEP proficiency data show that white students reach proficiency levels at higher rates than black students across grades and subjects. In some local assessments, like Illinois, white students scored on average 30 points higher than black students in NAEP-aligned math tests, illustrating gaps at specific levels. Graduation rates and college going from public school attended children. Large national data sets such as the NCES and the EDFACS typically show higher graduation rates for white public school students than black public school students, though differences vary by state and district. Black students underperform relative to white students on NAEP reading and math scales. The racial achievement gap persists nationally, with black students scoring lower on standardized tests and generally attaining lower proficiency rates. There's no urgency to that, ladies and gentlemen, none. Our education system should be turned on its head. These numbers make a mockery of the education system unless this is on purpose. And again, I'm going to ask you, if you ever believed that racism existed, they planted crack in our neighborhoods at the same time we were being deindustrialized. Then they built the prisons because they knew that we would get either addicted to the crack or caught with it. And then they made the penalty for crack cocaine even more severe than for powder cocaine, because white people were more likely to use powder cocaine and black people in central cities and urban areas were much more likely to use rock cocaine. So think about that, because that sentiment that created those disparities didn't go away. Now it is exacerbating itself in our school system, because here's what we can tell the rest of the country. Here's the narrative that they can use. Well, black kids are just dumb. That's what it is. They're just dumb. You think that they can't have an impact on the curriculum? I could design a standardized test that every single black person would get an A on. Every white person would fail. I would use terms. I would use cultural bias. I would use concepts and anecdotes that black people, black culture are all familiar with that are foreign to white kids. I could give this test to white kids or white adults. They would fail. Therefore, I could say, well, white people are stupid because all the black kids got 100%. They got A+ on these tests. If I design the test, I design the results. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. On Friday night, the Milwaukee Panthers take on the South Dakota State Jackrabbits at the Fiserv Forum.
Jump pass to the corner right. Elam, 10 on the shot clock. Back out for Zaya. Logo 3 for Zay. It's pure. It's pure. It's a 7-point lead. 65-58. I didn't think he was going to shoot that thing. I'm glad he did.
Scott Warris has the coverage Friday starting at 3:30 on 101.7 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 4 p.m.
Ho, 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 my back.
Santa?
Ho, 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 Gina Della from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Yes. Next year, how about just asking for a Pella gift card? My elves are used to designing windows from other places where they're all pretty much the same. But Pella? Ho, 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 so many customizations and designs. My elves aren't qualified, so Santa has to put in some overtime. Ho,
Let me make a call. BRB.
Frighteningly fast pellet team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
Yeah, I know. Santa already lectured me. Ask for a Pella gift card.
What if you need new windows or doors, but you're on the naughty list?
Then this will definitely help. Right now, at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% interest for 24 months.
Ho, ho, ho! Visit the Pella site. And to all, a good night.
PellaWI.com.
Service restrictions apply. Ends 12/31/2025.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Wisconsin winters can be tough, and so are higher energy bills. The Community Advocates Milwaukee County Energy Assistance Program is ready to help you. Eligible Milwaukee County residents can receive help with their energy bills and weatherization benefits to keep you warm and help you manage your heating and electric bills. Schedule your personal appointment at keepwarmmke.org or call 414-270-4653. For more details about locations and hours of operation, go to communityadvocates.net. This program is administered by the State of Wisconsin Department of Administration.
At Heart of Canal Street, for over 30 years, our hearts have been set on making a difference for children in our community. Now through December 10th, we invite you to share your heart by playing the Canal Street Bingo game at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Every time you play this special bingo game, you're helping to raise funds for children's charities in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more at potawatomi.com/heart.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Hey, do your thing. Hey, do your thing. Hey, do your thing. Hey, do your thing. Hey. Hey, do your thing. Hey, do your thing. Hey, do your thing. Hey, do your thing. Hey.
Fresh out the house, got the beat. As I ride up and down Martin Luther King Drive, standing tall, looking down.
He used to be the king. T.I. fell off, though. The early 2000s, he was the Sugar Honey Iced Tea. Now he's not. Rick has been playing the music pretty much the last half hour because I've been eating the pho. That was delicious.
Now you want to go to sleep and be lazy.
I actually have something I got to do after the show. Kind of wish I didn't. Total public K-12 enrollment, 49,600,000 students. Here's the number that matters. Asian, 2.7 million. Black, 7.4 million. Hispanic, 14.4 million. White, 22.1 million. White students are less than half of the public school enrollment. So if there is a decline in output from public school children, now remember, white children are doing better in public schools. I also have the data for private schools that are overwhelmingly white. So the minority of white children attend public schools. It is majority black and brown. The majority of the kids in America, this is very important for a policy understanding. The majority of the children that attend public school in America right now, based on our most recent data, are black, Hispanic, Asian, 2 or more races, American Indian, Alaskan Native, and Pacific Islander. Those children are the majority. there is a larger share, something like 65% of private school students are white. And for those of you that are going, no, the private school kids aren't doing any better, that is where white people choose to send their children for a number of reasons. Because, yes, scholastically, children in private schools nationwide do perform better, but also tuition is a barrier. And all of these disparities that exist ensures there will be another generation of African Americans who are less than competitive, or they've got to work really, really hard to overcome the disparities that we first identified when they took their standardized tests in 4th grade. Then they take another standardized test in 8th grade. Then you have different assessments along the way. And you also have the lower graduation rates. So from when we first identify in the public school system poor performance amongst black children, they don't even think to remedy it, but what they'll do is they'll ask for taxpayers for more money. And we've had the best case study right here in Wisconsin. When they asked for that first $87 million in April of 2020, we had a ballot referendum, right? Because COVID was here. We had to do some transitions and how we were going to instruct the kids. Everybody was staying home, and so they needed more money for that. $87 million they got. What's the first thing they did with it? They paid the teachers. None of it went to the classroom. Then they're like, oh, snap, 4 years later, we need another $250 million because, we just need more. And what did we find out then? Aisha Carr was the one that blew the whistle on that. She said the majority MPS schools, the white schools, where white kids are performing the best, because there are still some MPS schools that have high performance, but you'll notice that their student body is overwhelmingly white. So the students that are doing the best, that have the best schools and the best technology, the best teachers and the best amenities, they get the first amount of money. Where the money needs to go is the poorer schools and the more disadvantaged neighborhoods where the disparities are insurmountably huge. Those are the last schools to get fed. So what they do is they reinforce the separate but unequal school system that we have here in MPS. The high-performing schools, whenever there's a referendum and new money is infused, new taxpayer money is infused in MPS, the schools that don't need the money get the most. Just like in America, the millionaires and the billionaires that don't need the tax cuts get them first. We are duplicating that here, and then we're looking around and wondering why conditions in the black community are what they are. And this is what I call institutional racism. Some people don't analyze it and break it down like this. They just assume, well, this is just how it is. I'm explaining to you this is very much intentional. Just like crack and guns that mysteriously showed up in our neighborhoods and our communities when we were being deindustrialized. And even back then, people thought, well, I guess that's just how it is. No, they do these things on purpose. There is no motivation still to this day to improve the scholastic and academic performance of black children, because still, to this day, even though we built this country, we are still seen as foreigners on our own land, and they are not going to invest in us. And if you believe that they are, then where are reparations at? Mississippi didn't ratify the 13th Amendment until the 1990s. And I think the U.S. Senate did a voice vote apologizing for slavery in 2008. And when I say they did a voice vote, they didn't want to be on the record of voting yes to apologize for slavery. So they did all in favor, say aye. So we don't even know how many of them would have said, no, we're not apologizing for slavery. Everybody go to Pho Spot and get some pho. Their pho is delicious. But right now I have to go. Goodbye.
Come in with straight truth.
If you acted up, if you were out here doing any kind of foolishness or just something that people know would make your family's name look bad, your neighbor from down the